Hello and welcome to Penn Hills Area High School in Penn Hills, PA, as Shaler Titans take on the Penn Hills Indians for Week 9 of Whitfield football. John Irwin alongside Casey Irwin here for SATV coverage of tonight's game. And Casey, what a game it could be. It may be rainy and it may be an overcast, but shine a little bit of light on tonight's games. We could have an exciting game tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold, rainy night tonight. And Penn Hills at the start of the season, they did look a little rough, but they've turned it around. They look exceptional, especially last week against Fox Chapel. They look good for playoffs. But Shaler, who started off very well, has now lost 6 in a row. They look to turn around their season tonight.
Yeah, Casey, you said it great. Penn Hills coming with a 4-3 record. They started out, I believe, 0-2, 0-3, and have had to fix things around going into playoffs, and they have done just that, coming in at 4-3. They've had a strong playoff presence and look to continue that into playoffs. And Shaler, like you said, started 2-6, but started 2-0, have finished now 2-6 going into Week 9, and they need to fix things around real quick, losing 6 straight. And I think on Penn Hill's side of the ball, let's talk about them real quick. Against Fox Chapel last week, I think it's a good summarization about how their season has been going. Beat them 28-7, and what a game it was for that Penn Hills defense. Talk about them, how they held Colin Dietz, who has 1,000 yards in the season, to only, I believe, 130 yards in the game. And Fox Chapel, them alone in the game, 130 yards and 43 in the second half. They're going to look to continue that tonight, especially against this young offense of guys like Keegan Schmatenka on the Titans and Joey DiSabato and Caden Orga, and look to pressure them and keep that up tonight. With a lot of seniors going to be on that defensive side of the thing, it could be a rough night for the Titans. Talk to me a little bit about Penn Hill's offense, what they're going to try to do tonight against Titans.
Yeah, as you said, last week, Penn Hill's offense put up 28 against Fox Chapel. That's really impressive. But one thing they're going to be looking for is their combination of, they've got 2 brothers at QB and wide receiver. That's Julian Duggar at quarterback and Jaden Duggar at wide receiver. And obviously, they're going to look for that combo night because no one's going to have better chemistry than 2 brothers. And they played well last week, and they're looking to play again tonight. And it's impressive, their offense, 28 last week. And then also against Pine Richland, they put up 14. Shaler couldn't get any points against them, so let's see how they do tonight.
Yeah, you said it greatly. I think one thing is Whitfield has been flipped upside down as everyone started out with 5 non-section and played 5 straight section games. No one really knew how to play against each other. Teams are getting, kind of shut out, or teams are now blowing teams out of the water. It's definitely hard to tell how things can turn out heading in the last 2 weeks of the season. And I think you said it greatly. The Duggar brothers are definitely going to try and create some havoc tonight against guys like Dom Rossi and Timmy Agbale for Shaler in the secondary. But again, let's talk about Shaler real quick. Shaler coming in at 2-6. Their offense started great in the first 3 weeks of the season, I believe, outscoring opponents, I want to say 110 to, I want to say maybe 53. And it's fallen off since, maybe only scoring about 60 in the last 6 weeks and only scored about 14 in the 3-week stretch. They need to turn things around here if they want a chance at the playoffs. I think they need to win out these next 2 weeks. So for guys like Keegan Schmatenka, he's going to have to try and fix things and really take his leadership role as a quarterback, a young quarterback as a sophomore, and really make things happen. Joey DiSabato did take a game-ending injury last week. He should be in the lineup tonight, but again, injuries have been the curse of the Titans so far on offense. Josh Miller just made it back in the lineup, and Luke Sinetti has yet to return. Played a couple snaps last week, but might have re-aggravated that ankle. He may be out for tonight's game. It's going to be tough against this good Penn Hills defense, who is now starting to figure out themselves and find an identity. But again, it's not just about offense. Casey, tell me about the defense of the Titans and maybe even shine a little bit more light about that offense.
Yeah, so on the defense, last week, there was no run stoppage at all. I think that Kiski only passed it twice in the second half, so obviously that really needs to prove that run defense. I'll look for guys like Bernesser and Mazza to really penetrate that line of scrimmage and stop the run game. But on the offense tonight, I was talking with Joey DiSabato this week. He said he's all good for a night, so that's good to see. And he was talking, they look for a combo. He's talking about 3 of them, and that's Keegan Schmatenka, Joey DiSabato, and Caden Orga. They call themselves the Slushy Bandits. I can see why, because they are ice cold on offense, and they're going to look to steal and win tonight.
Yeah, what a great way to put it with the Slushy Bandits. I think they're going to have to try and make something happen tonight. Again, only 2 weeks left for the Titans to turn things around and make it into the season. The entire section that they're in are all at 2-1 except themselves and at Kiski, who are 1-2. So if they want any chance, they have to turn it around. They have to play a picture-perfect game tonight. I think overall they're going to have to figure it out. And if they want any chance to turn this season around and forget about the last 6 weeks, they're going to make it happen tonight, Casey.
Yeah, they really do. I'll be looking once again. That run game is, I think that's going to be the most important thing tonight, because that run game is really what allowed that 42 points last week. So that really needs to show improvement if the Titans have any chance in this game.
Casey, you said it greatly, but overall it's going to be a great game between the Indians and the Titans. So join us up in the booth for coverage of the rest of tonight's game. And welcome back up to the booth as the Shaler Titans get ready to kick off against the Penn Hills Indians. I believe the Indians won the toss and will be receiving. Again, welcome back up for coverage of tonight's game for SCTV. John Irwin and Casey Irwin. What a treat we are in for tonight's game, Casey.
Yeah, it's a cold night here. It's going to be tough out there for the players. And as Titans kick off, their defense is going to be on the field for us. So it's a big test for them on this first drive to see if they can stop the run, if they can improve from last week's performance.
Yeah, that was a great comment, like you said. And like you said in pregame, who should we be looking for? The Duggar brothers, Jaden and, Julian. They're going to be big names tonight. Again, Julian being the quarterback, getting in and getting started early. He's going to have a big game tonight against this Titans defense who has to stop the run, like you said earlier. They're going to have to figure it out and get it going. But as Jack Keenan sets the ball down and gets ready to go against the Indians in Week 9, it's going to be a treat regardless on a rainy night in Penn Hills.
Yeah, it's exactly what Friday Night Football is all about. This type of weather, this type of game. I'm super excited to see what we've got tonight.
As the Titans get ready to kick off, we are underway in Penn Hills as Keenan gives a squib. Picked up around the 25. Going to be taken back, taken to the left side. Shaler tries to wrap up, does get an arm. Still up, but brought down by a swarm of Titans around the 30. And the Indians will start with the ball, I believe, around the 32-yard line. So, Casey, what do you expect from the Shaler Titans defense and Jim Ryan tonight on this first drive?
Well, I expect this past week that Jim Ryan put a lot of effort in that D-line because they absolutely need to improve because the run defense last week, it was very poor. They couldn't stop anything. Last week, Kiski only had 2 passes in the second half. So if the Shaler Titans want any success tonight, they need to stop the run game.
Yeah, that was a great point. Make Jalen Duggar, especially on the defense, on the offensive side of things, have a lot of pressure in that backdrop offense,
I'm not sure what the whistle here is for. We've already got a stoppage in play, first play. I mean, how about that?
Yeah, and you hope it doesn't last too long as we get ready to play as Duggar stands in shotgun. Takes a snap, fakes the handoff, throws to his right, but just out of the hands of number 22, Brendan Hill.
Yeah, it's a nice little screen there to start off from Penn Hills, and I think the slippery conditions already getting to their players. It might get worse because the rain is supposed to come later. As you can see, a drop pass on the first play there.
Yeah, it was a good look by Duggar out to the screen, and that's one thing that Shaler does struggle with a bit is the quick offensive screens on the other side of the ball, and the jet sweeps definitely can catch them off guard, and if the blocking for Penn Hills is on, it could be a problem tonight as Duggar steps back in the shotgun, fakes the snap, takes it, hands it off, up the middle. He has a room, at the 40, 45, and he gets dropped to the 45 by a swarm of Titans. Number 4, Amir Key. Great run by him. He'll get the first down. And like you said, Casey, that run instantly being an impact for the Indians.
Yeah, and right there, immediately, the Indians, their first run, big first down, and that's not a good start from the Titans. And last week, I didn't mention, though, that Kiski's run offense, a lot of the runs were up the middle. And right there, a big run up the middle for a first down.
Yeah, power looks good for the Indians. They go back to that 3-receiver set, 2 in the backfield as Duggar stands in the shotgun, hands it off to Key, I believe, again. He's going to look for the gap and not get much. Bunch of Titans on him back to the line of scrimmage. They'll force him back, a gain of 2. So, Casey, what do you think the Indians should do on the offensive side of things? I know you said run, but if the Titans contain, how should they look for that then?
Well, the Titans are able to contain the run game tonight. Obviously, they should start to look for that Duggar combo because they're they're going to have a very good chemistry out here tonight, and the pass game will have to be effective for them.
Great call, and again, Penn Hills back to this 3-receiver set, looking for it. They're going to hand it off to Key again, tries to cut it right, doesn't get much. Oh, he's still on his feet, though. Out to the 45 of Shaler. What a great second effort. Look to get wrapped up from behind. And let's see where they mark him. And they're going to give him the first down. And what a great run by Amir Key. And we could be saying his name a lot tonight.
Yeah, we will be seeing his name a lot tonight because they will look to run the ball light. Indians. And right there, that missed tackle, that's something I can't have for the Titans tonight with an already struggling run defense. And so what should have been maybe just a 3-yard gain ended up being a first down.
Yeah, one thing is definitely getting those tackles completed. You cannot miss any tackles as we go to a 4-receiver set here close to the right. And Duggar's going to hand it off. Pitch it off to Key. He's going to look for the outside gap. He's got it. He's still going out to the 47 and out of bounds. And again, that outside edge for the Indians working real well, already.
Yeah, and the run game is already working real well from the Indians as well. I think they're starting to realize the game plan. The run offense is working right now. Their pass plays haven't worked as well, so they'll be looking to continue that.
Yeah, and I think on the offensive side, the defensive side of things, the Titans definitely got to hold themselves accountable and keep themselves in check on defense against the Indians and not let too much happen. As Duggar stands shotgun, two to his left. He steps back, takes a long look, looks for the deep left shot, and almost picked off, but batted away by Josh Miller. He was looking for Jaden Duggar, like you said. That was the combo that Julian wanted, but Josh Miller, great read there. But you just got to wonder, if he put that one there and slapped it away, do you think he can go 2 for the interception?
I think he definitely can. Josh Miller, he's got a lot of skills, especially on the offense too. He can catch a lot. And right there was really good work from the secondary because they need to make up for when the defensive line can't get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, it was a great call. And again, like you said, the Duggar to Duggar might be a problem for the Titans, but they were able to keep it off. So we have a 3rd and 5. It's going to be Duggar keeps it. He takes out the middle, and he looks to get an extra 5 past the line of scrimmage out to the 31. What a great QB option there by Duggar. And as a sophomore, he's got great potential, and he's already got the makings of a senior QB as he gets the first downs for the Indians.
Yeah, that's a great option right there. A great decision by Duggar to keep the ball and go up the middle where it seems to be working all the time right now. And right now, the Indians are driving in the field, and I expect to see more run out of them today.
That's a great call. And on 1st and 10 at the Shaler's 31. At Shaler, you can only hope to not just stop them, but at least slow down Penn Hills as they go for a 3-receiver set, 2 in the backfield. They are going to hand it off to the right side. He's got a gap to the outside to the 15, to the 25. And he'll get dropped down to around the 24, it looks like. That was number 14, Natel Mitchell. He'll get an 8-yard gain, I believe, and set up maybe a 7-yard gain for a 2nd and 7. But like you said, those outside runs have been a real problem already for the Titans, and the blocking for the Indians isn't making it any easier, Casey.
Yeah, since last week, the Titans faced a lot of runs up the middle, and the run defense was poor on that, so they haven't faced a lot of these outside runs. So the fact that the Indians are bringing it to them tonight, they need to adjust their game plan to that.
And as Duggar stands shotgun, 3-receiver set, he's going to hand it off again. Looks like Mitchell. He's looking at it for the 20. He's going to get to the 15 and about to the 12. Great outside look there for Mitchell. And again, like we said, the run game, it's just been a big thing already for the Indians as Key steps back in for Mitchell. We may be calling his name here on a 1st and 10 at, I believe, the 11-yard line. He could take it in himself for an early Penn Hill score as there's only 8 minutes and 9 seconds. Not only, there's still 8 minutes and 9 seconds left in this first quarter.
Yeah, we'll see how the Titans' red zone defense can hold up here. It has looked good recently, but let's see what it can do right now.
As Duggar stands shotgun, Key behind the 3-receiver set. Fakes the handoff, looks to his right, scrambles, rolls, and thrown into the end zone. Touchdown, Penn Hills. What a great look from Duggar. Found his man in the end zone. Believe that was number 5. Zakai Parker for Penn Hills. Great look and a great scramble from Duggar. Had a lot of time, didn't have a lot of pressure, and made it work for the Indians, and they go up 6-0 early in this first quarter.
Yeah, once the Indians got that run game open, that's when they can get the play action going as well, and that's what they did right there. And Duggar was able to come back, roll out, find his man in the end zone for the touchdown. And last week again, whenever Kiski did pass the ball, they only passed twice. They were both big plays, one of them being a touchdown. So both sides of the defense need to improve.
Yeah, great call, and Charlie Rosemeyer puts that one through. He'll put the Indians up 7-0 over the Titans at 8 minutes and 2 seconds in the first quarter. Now, Casey, we've seen both sides have their offense. We've seen the Indians' offense on the field, an impressive drive, very impressive against the Titans' defense. So we've seen them out. Now we're going to flip the script. What do you expect from either side's offense or defense?
Well, I think for the Titans, their offense, they want to get their own run game going because they've had to rely on the pass a lot recently. So if Josh Miller can get going, if he can get hot, that will look really good for the Titans because then that'll allow the offense to open up more for Smetanka to get his arm going and you find his mans like Orga, DiSabato, Doherty, so we'll see what the Titans can do with that.
Yeah, it was a great look, and while you said those names, you didn't say one of them. That was, Dylan Schlegel. He's out for today's game. We forgot to say it a little bit earlier in pregame. He'll be out with an upper body injury on the sideline, suffered last week against Kiski early in the first quarter. So we'll be looking for, I believe, a substitution of Dom Rossi and a wide receiver, but did perform well against Kiski with a couple of reception and a good couple of yards. A 2-point conversion attempt, I believe, completion too. So we'll be calling his name, I believe, in replacement of Schlegel. And as we look for Rosemeyer's kick, back to return for the Titans, I can only assume it's going to be Doherty and DiSabato, and it all starts for the Titans on the return. So let's see. And Rosemeyer puts this one up left. Going to be taken by Doherty at the 15. Going to scramble out to the 20 and get out to around the 26-yard. Excuse me, that was Orga the whole time. My apologies, Caden. Orga takes it out to around the 26, 27-yard line. So it looks like Orga back in the lineup, will be back with DiSabato on punts and kicks now. Now, Casey, we talked about it. Let's do it real quick before this drive starts to the Titans. What do you expect them to start out with early in their drive?
Well, I do expect them to start with the run. And one of those names you did mention, Dom Rossi, he was a former quarterback, moved to wide receiver, but he's just an all-around athlete, so he has excelled in his new position. I expect them to find him more tonight with Dylan Schlegel out.
Yeah, it's a great call, and I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, how the Titans, they need to get started early. They can't start slow. They had a real problem in the middle of the season a couple weeks ago, really starting out slow and not being able to make anything happen early. With Penn Hills, they have their identity. They're going to make you work for points. They're going to make you tire yourself out, and you're going to have to really dig deep and dig low and get these points. As Shaler and Smetanka lines up, shotgun, through receiver set, 2 in the backfield. Takes a snap, gives it to Miller. He looks for a gap to the left. Not going to get much. Maybe a push of about 2. Oh, maybe a little bit more forward push. Maybe out for 3. Not able to get too much, but another name that has been out for the last couple of weeks, Augie Tortorella, the linebacker slash fullback, I believe is back in after suffering a lower body injury a couple of weeks ago before Shaler is homecoming against Penn Trafford. He's back in the lineup tonight. What a name and what a game he could have tonight. Again, I bet they've been missing him a lot on that offense for the Titans.
Yeah, he'll be able to get Miller out there some breaks, so whenever he does need a break, they won't have to definitely pass it. They can hand him off the ball, and I'm sure he'll be able to make some good blocks out there as well.
Great call. It's Smetanka under center. DiSabato in motion. Doesn't hand it off. Fakes it. Gives it off and caught by number 4, Austin Timko. Did not even know he was out on offense.
I think there is a
flag.
I think it was
must have been holding. But wow, Austin Timko, we saw a little bit of him last week against Kiski area, play some offense in that later quarter. And he's out there now playing. So now Jim Ryan's flipping people out and back and forth. Austin Timko, Tristan Holland, I've seen a little bit of them on offense, but now starting with 8 minutes in the first. Casey, it is like chess out here.
Yeah, they're really looking to throw out all the strategies they have. They're throwing out all the stops tonight. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Austin Timko, I mean, that was a great catch, great route. He was open. So, if they're going to put him in right there, they're definitely going to look for him more tonight.
Yeah, great look from Smetanka. Saw his mobility as he takes a snap around the 12. Throws, steps back, but no one found. Not sure who he was looking for. Had 2 receivers over in the area, but will go incomplete. So it'll set up a 3rd and 9 for the Titans around the 14. Not great position for the Titans. But again, one thing already for the Indians, Casey, is they're getting pressure off the ball already really quickly against this Titans offensive line.
Yeah, I think right there, I think that was Bernard Numb, number 73 for the Indians. That just came right through there, forced Smetanka to get rid of it. I think there may have been miscommunication between Smetanka and one of his receivers, but still, that pressure right there is what forced him to release it right there and throw it off target. And so now Titans face a big 3rd down here.
Yeah, 3rd and 22 with Smetanka at his own 10. Takes 2 steps back, just dumps it off to Miller, has some blockers up the field, gets to the 20, hits a man, and he'll get back to around what looks to be the 25. won't able to make much happen from that point of view.
There's a flag.
And there is a flag, it seems, but it could be a Penn Hills Indians towel. They do have yellow towels. But let's see what the head referee has to call. It is going to be a flag. Maybe on Shaler. Let's see.
No one has made any movement.
Oh, it looks like unnecessary roughness on Penn Hills. So that's going to move the chains as an automatic first down. And what a safe play, what a savior type of call for the Titans. They get a first down now, and they get the ball around what looks to be the 41-yard line. So Casey now, with a whole new set of downs and a whole new game plan, what can you expect from the Titans?
Well, they really kind of lucky break right there. I expect them to go back to Smetanko right here. So let's see.
And he takes it himself, looked for the handoff to Sabato, not able to do it, but gets around 4 yards, around to the 44. So that'll give up a 2nd and 6. And like you said, Casey, you talked about it last game against Kiski. His mobility really stepped up and got better throughout the game as it went on. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that tonight.
Yeah, something they have been using more in the last few weeks is Smetanka's running ability, and it has worked out very well. So we're looking to see more of that tonight, and Titans now in 2nd and 7. Let's see what they do here. Maybe another, I think it's going to be another pass play here.
I agree with you here as they go 4 receiver set, one to the left of Smetanka. Shotgun snap, takes it, high snap, gives it off, but he'll get wrapped up by a lot of Indians. What a great penetration play there from the Indians as they stuff number 33, Luke Signetti, who is in for the Titans, and we'll get to him in just a second. But I believe Luke Pugliese, number 78 for the Indians, got in there on the tackle, but number 33, Luke Signetti, is in for the Titans. And Casey, tell me a little bit about him. We've been missing him for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, at the start of the season, he was explosive. No defense could stop him. So if he is able to be in this game more often tonight, at least get some good snaps in and be effective, that's massive for the Titans offense.
Like you said, great as he gets out the block. Smetanka dumps it off just high the hands of Tortorella, and maybe the rain affecting his hands now off the little dump there. It'll go incomplete for a 4th and 9. And like you said, Luke Signetti in the first 2 games, especially against Mars, was unstoppable. Did get injured, I believe, late in that Mars game. We haven't seen him since. Last week he did play a couple of snaps, but they took him out saying, hey, we're not going to force you to play if that ankle's still hurt. So now he's in, and if he can get started early, we may have a whole new type of ball game here, especially from the Titans. But with the 4th and 9, they're just going to punt it off to the Indians as Josh Miller steps back around his own 25. Low snap bounces, has trouble, gets it off. Wow, I cannot believe that went off. It'll get a Shaler roll, but picked up by Duggar at the 40.
I think there may be a roughing the punter on this play.
There is a flag, and it may be. The Indians did get closing pressure on Miller. It was a fumbled snap, a low snap, and he fumbled it, not able to get it away, and then he does get it away, and with the Indians trying to get that pressure, that'll be a personal foul roughing the kicker. So now the Shaler offense, I believe, gets another chance at downs. So Casey, 2 monumental penalties against the Indians set them back, and now Shaler's back on the field.
What another lucky break for the Titans, and what a fantastic effort and play by Josh Miller on that punt, because the fact that he was able to get that snap and get the punt off is what made him the kicker again. So then he was able to get that punt off and was able to draw the foul, and Titans offense will be back on the field.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Duggar got it around the 40, and I thought, hey, the Indians are back on the field. And then you pointed out the flag, and I thought, oh goodness, what could this be on? And wow, it's an unfortunate mistake, and that's not what you want to see from John LaDon's team, who was, again, there's always the big story when we play Penn Hills, how that's, John LaDon coached the Titans for about a 6-year span, I would say. And he did leave, come to Penn Hills, change the culture here, and has made them into a powerhouse football team in 5A. But again, definitely don't, if you're John LaDon, you definitely don't want those mistakes, giving the ball back for Shaler around the 45.
Yeah, with the Titans offense back on the field here, they will look to capitalize on these big penalties. They've got 2 big chances. They don't want to have to make it a 3rd chance. They want to just put it in themselves, and they want to be effective here. If Signetti can get going, that power 2 of Miller and Signetti would be very effective.
Yeah, it could be very lethal tonight as Smetanka steps back, 4 receivers set, 1 to his left. Miller takes the snap, steps back, gives it off. Good short throw there. Look to number 3, Joe DiSabato. It was a great look by Smetanka. Sorry, Casey, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but it was a great look, and that's something that, hasn't been really a struggle, but in the midst of all these players, Smetanka does sometimes get into a little bit of a situation where he may mismatch his throw with his receiver's timing.
Yeah, and one thing that is unfortunate for Smetanka is that with his receivers, he doesn't have a lot of height. And that's something that is big for him, so he has to figure out those throws because he has to be able to get it for his receivers to catch it. So let's see if he can adjust his throws to that because he was able to throw it higher before with Schlegel, but with no Schlegel, he has a shorter receiving core.
Yeah, and again, he goes with a short pass to DiSabato again. That'll be a first down off the 2nd and 4. He'll gain about 6 or 7 past the first down marker on the 26-yard line. And like you said, it was a great point, Casey, how he doesn't have the height, so he can't really aim for hands because there's more cornerbacks that are taller and will get there faster. So he's got to aim for the chest, which is a very hard thing to do in a short span area.
What I like about these last couple plays, though, is that they've been a lot more simple and a lot easier for the offense to execute.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And again, they are going to hand it off to Josh Miller, not able to get anything, as again, the Indians get the penetration as number 83, Zaire Wilder, will get in there and cause some havoc. Great play by them. And again, this D-line of the Indians may not be getting immediate pressure, but they're holding the O-line of Shaler accountable, and they're making them have to respect the D-line and say, hey, we may not be pushing you back 5 yards, but you're not going to get through us.
Yeah, the run offense right now, it's going nowhere. I expect the Titans to keep passing right here.
Yeah, and like you said, that King Smetanka gives off the dump to Josh Miller. Josh Miller has a lot of space and a lot of room. He gets to the 25-15. And a great look again. And what Smetanka does so well is when he's under pressure, he has changed himself to not be a runaway passer and have to shift out. If he knows he has a man open like Josh Miller off that dump pass, he gives it to him. He doesn't make the play extend more than it has to. He just gives the simple pass and gives it off.
Yeah, and right here, the Titans have now driven into the end zone, the red zone. This is their first red zone chance in the game. They will look to capitalize here as Smetanka lines up under center.
Yeah, 2 receivers set under center, Tortorella and Miller behind them. Hands off to Tortorella on the fullback dive, but not able to get more than about 2 or 3 yards.
And Tortorella here gets his first handoff. That's good to see. Nice couple yards here. But with how Miller, I expect this next couple plays, they'll be looking for Miller and DiSabato. Those right now in the last week, those have been their most effective players on the offense.
Yeah, definitely. DiSabato and Smetanka, I would say, have been the most lethal red zone combination / threat for the Titans towards the red zone area. And I think he'll be looking for that again. But an interesting formation here. 2 receivers to his right, in under center. And Tortorella, Miller behind him. Smetanka, DiSabato in motion. Goes to the left. Smetanka takes the snap. Fakes the handoff. Looks to his right. And up, and touchdown, baby. They're going to say he bobbled it. Incompletion. Dom Rossi looks like he can't believe it. Excuse me. That was Augie Tortorella on the right, not Dom Rossi. He looked like he had it all the way, but the referee says he bobbles it on the way down, so that'll be an incompletion on 3rd and 8.
I think that was Dom Rossi, actually, though, but I don't think I can believe it either. I mean, I thought he definitely had it, but I'm not sure. But one thing Smetanka didn't see as he was rolling out, that is a hard throw to make, but back in the middle, he did have DiSabato in the end zone. So let's see if DiSabato can get open once again.
Yeah, and as you said that, Smetanka stands back, looks to his left, dumps it off to Miller. Looks for an open hole, but will get wrapped up immediately by a Penn Hill Indian. Looked like number 8, Akai Parker, gets the wrap up. So that'll set up a 4th and what looks to be a 4th and 6 for the Titans.
Yeah, and Smetanka had to get that out immediately. He had no time to throw that one. So unfortunate ending for the Titans drive there. But if they can get points on the board, I still think that's a positive start here.
Yeah, field goal here by Jack Keenan would still be beneficial for the Titans, of course, would cut the lead down to 4 from the Indians. But a decent, good kick here from the 20 on a rainy night. This snap and hold has to be perfect. He puts it up, and that looks to be good. And it will be good, and Jack Keenan puts 3 on the board and makes the lead cut to 4 as the Penn Hills Indians lead 7-3 over the Shaler area Titans with 1:01 seconds left remaining. And Casey, it may not have ended in a touchdown, but a very impressive drive over the ensuing drive from the Titans.
Yeah, they did have some impressive plays there. Obviously, the help on multiple flags by the Indians. They would definitely like to have gone a touchdown, capitalize on those flags. But overall, it is a positive start for the offense.
Yeah, you said it greatly. I think one thing that they did do is I think they did capitalize. They took the opportunities that they were given to them and they improved. They didn't get much on that first drive, on that first couple of downs, got the penalty, made some more progress, then another penalty, and then they drove 50 yards and made a lot of good plays and a lot of good momentum, and I think that could cause an issue. But another thing that could cause an issue is this rain as it starts to come down harder in Penn Hills as the Titans look to kick it off. In case we've been talking about it already, how receivers are starting to drop the ball a little bit. But how do you think that may affect the Indians now coming into this drive?
Well, it will be big because their first pass play of the game was a drop pass. It wasn't even raining at that point. So the fact that the rain is now really coming down now, that could be really big in a passing game. So the Indians, I think, will definitely look to run the ball a lot more.
Yeah, great call. And again, Jack Keenan will step back as he gets ready to boot this one away for the Titans. And he gets a good squib off. It'll head to around the 10-yard line, picked up. A little bit of a fumble as the Titans start to close in. Tries to look for a gap, gets it. A couple of Indians getting in his way, but wrapped up and brought down.
Returned by number 38.
Number 38 on the return, Santana Levi, but the tackle made by number 14, Preston Collins. Great wrap up there and stops, Santana in his tracks around the 20. A good return, but an even better tackle there. So now with the Indians back on the field, Casey, how do you expect them to go? Do you think they go to the air, or do you think they stay on the ground?
I think they definitely stay on the ground because on their first drive, it worked very well. And with the rain coming down now, they'll definitely look to keep the ball in their hands and not risk anything.
So now Duggar lines up, man in motion. Through to his right. He's going to short dump off screen. It'll get to the 20. He'll look for some more room, and he gets to around the 28-yard line in between there. A great look by Duggar on that screen. I think that was to number 14, Natel Mitchell.
Well, the Indians immediately contradict our statements. They immediately go with pass play. They get a good gain. But the pass play, it was a little screen. It wasn't anything big that could risk anything because with the slippery conditions, you never know, or something could happen. Tip ball, an interception, so the Indians won't look for anything risky like that if they do pass the ball.
Yeah, great call. They do have to stay safe as the field and turf starts to get wet. But Duggar, he'll hand it off to Key. He gets a wide open hole and he gets around the 40-yard line, and a great run and an even better play from the Indians. And that'll get a first down. And what a great call here as we hit the 30-second mark in this first quarter as the Indians start to make more and more momentum with Amir Key.
Well, I do have to say right there, that hole was massive. Great work by the Indians O-line. But it was number 22 for the Titans, Corbin Siddick, who made a huge tackle there to save a lot more yards.
Yeah, Key definitely has some lethal speed and agility. Don't want to see him get in the open field as they hand it off to him again. Same gap, and he'll get back out to the 50, out to the 45, and look at his off-the-block speed, Casey. Video game type of speed. And again, we said it earlier in the first, but I don't think we thought it literally that Key would be a super, super lethal threat like he is right now, but he definitely is.
Yeah. And the offensive line for the Indians have made some big holes for him. So if they can get even any bigger holes, I mean, he may be gone.
Yeah, we have to see more of him. But that'll stop us here in the first quarter as we head into the second quarter with the Penn Hills Indians leading the Shaler area Titans 7-3.
We're the 2021 Shaler Varsity Cheerleaders. And you're watching SATV!
And welcome back for second quarter action of tonight's game as the Indians lead the Titans 7-3. And we'll flip sides here as the Indians take again the ball around the 45-yard line of Shaler as Duggar stands back in shotgun, three-receiver set. He'll fake the handoff to Key, pass it over the middle, off to the left, but it'll be an incompletion off the hands of number 3, Chase Barney. And a very good look and a very accurate pass from Duggar in between 2 Titans, but a little bit of a drop from Barney, and maybe that was the rain again, Casey.
Yeah, and obviously another drop there, but it was good pressure from Bale. Just the fact that he was able to get a touch on him and disrupt him just a bit, that definitely helped as well to make that pass incomplete.
Yeah, it was a great look there. And again, 4 receivers set for the Indians. And they're going to hand it off. Gets the outside edge. He'll get to the 30, 35.
Number 14.
And he'll continue the run. Number 14, what a great call. Natel Mitchell. And honestly, I thought Duggar kept the ball off to the right, had me confused with Mitchell. Gets out to around the 30-yard line. He'll get a first down for the Indians. And Casey, we've been saying it all night. Not only is that the run game, but that's the outside run and option that we've been talking about that has been a trouble for the Titans.
Yeah, once again, it is that outside run, and it is troubling for the Titans. They need to improve on that. They need to improve all around in the run defense, but it is those outside runs as we move back here. I'm not sure why.
Oh, an unfortunate flag, most likely going to be holding as the culprit. Did miss the call from the head official, so they'll move them back about 5, so it'll be... Yeah, it was a holding confirmed, so they'll move him back for a 2nd and not 10 for sure. Probably a 2nd and 4, 6 here in between. As Duggar stands back shotgun, 3 receivers set, 2 beside him, takes 2 steps back, drops back, looks deep ball to Jaden Duggar, and incomplete but a flag, and that's going to be pass interference on Dom Rossi. It was a great look by Duggar and an unfortunate play. But I think what happened there was it was just a bit short from Duggar, but a smart play from, I should actually be referencing because there's 2 of them. Julian Duggar did throw it a little bit short, and that caused a little bit of a problem for Jaden. But as he tries to make that catch, Dom Rossi kept running, thinking it was going in his hands, not realizing it was thrown behind. So it pushes Jaden Duggar out of the way and causes the pass interference. So now the Indians move into, I believe, what is the 3-yard line there, Casey.
Yeah, and...
Oh, actually, wait.
The results in a Penn Hills first down.
Let's see. Oh, I think it may only be 15. It is only going to be 15, excuse me. Thought it was, at the spot of the foul, excuse me. But again, we'll reset here with Duggar and shotgun. Takes a snap, hands it off to Key. He'll get up the middle for about 3. And it was a great look, but the blocking didn't open up for Key.
That is improvement right there from the Titans on the run game. The fact that they're able to stop a run up the middle is a good sign. Now it just comes down to those outside options that we need to see more improvement.
Yeah, the Indians definitely trying to still keep this momentum going for them as they go 3 receivers set, 2 in the backfield and shotgun for Duggar. Titans show blitz. Duggar hands it off the Key. No, he fakes it over the middle. Caught around the 20-yard line and brought down by a lot of Titans. And he'll get to the 10-yard line. Had me faked out, and what a great look and read by Julian Duggar.
And the Indians so far have been unafraid of the conditions. They've continued to pass the ball, and it has been effective. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was a great look by Duggar overall, but we will have a Titan injury on the field, so they will check him out quickly.
So,
and we will head to an injury timeout.
We are the 2021 girls soccer team, and you're watching SATV. Woo!
And welcome back after the injury timeout. Number 33, what looks to be number 33, Luke Signetti. Not what you want to see if you're the Shaler area Titans. Again, you just got him back, but he was able to walk off his own power. Hopefully it's just a cramp, nothing too serious. He does play defense. He was a big defensive factor against Mars and Newcastle, and again, getting back in against the Indians. Not what you want to see, Casey.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate loss. I do question a little bit the fact that he's just coming back. I think maybe he should only be playing offense right now, but I'll leave that for later. Right now, the Indians have moved to the red zone. What do you expect to see from them right here?
I would expect pass, but with Key in the backfield, we're going to see what happens as it's shotgun snap given to Key. And he'll get around to the 8-yard line, brought down by a bunch of Titans. Burnester in on it and Timko in on it.
Yeah, it's good when the Titans can stop Key because he just has explosive speed. So that's where the line of scrimmage needs to come up huge because they can't allow a hole for him to get through.
Yeah, and Carson Pierce did actually make the tackle for the Titans, and a great wrap-up play from him. So a 2nd and 8 now, under 10 remaining. So now 4 receivers set. Shotgun 1 to the right. Excuse me, trips to the left. This Duggar's going to take the snap shotgun. Looks left. Has his man left in the end zone. And caught number 11. Jaden Duggar, excuse me, yes, Jaden Duggar, not Julian. The pass from Julian to Jaden is a touchdown and will result in 6 for the Penn Hills Indians. And what a great look and a great feed for the Penn Hills Indians, Casey.
Yeah, and as the Indians do celebrate this touchdown, I do think they may have gotten a flag for their excessive celebration. But besides that point, I think the Titans on that play, they had unmarked man. Obviously, Duggar was able to go wide open in the end zone for the touchdown, and that is not something you can see. And surprisingly, this drive, the Indians went after the passing. They went through that, even though it was raining, even though the run game was working, they went straight for the pass game.
Yeah, it was a great look, and I think the one thing that they're doing is they're keeping the Titans on their feet. They're keeping them on their toes, and they're saying, hey, you may have us figured out on the run right now, but you haven't seen our passing yet. So you're going to have to stay on your toes and stay on your feet and stay ready because we're going to come at you with whatever we want to come at you with.
Yeah, and as we said at the beginning, that two-brother combo of the Duggars, it comes through effective right here. They connect for a touchdown, and they'll look to continue with that combination tonight.
It was a great look and a great feed from Duggar to Duggar, but we will have an unsportsmanlike conduct here. I assume it was on the celebration like you said, and I believe that'll be enforced on the ensuing kickoff. And the kick is good. So that'll put another point on the board for the Penn Hills Indians with 9:38 left remaining in the second quarter. The Indians 14, Titans 3. And Casey, what another impressive drive. Again, didn't look too, how should I say it, highlight-like. It wasn't a drive where you saw impressive runs or impressive drives, but it was just hard work and more of a, football-esque drive.
Yeah, and that's something I think the Titans haven't faced as much this season because some of the offensive they have faced have been star-powered, big plays all the time. But this time it's just a hard-earned drive by the Indians. And, I mean, that's tough work for the Titans to defend because they were improving. I do see improvement from the defense. And now the offense, they'll need to get points on the board here to keep in contention with this game or to keep the game flow going.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a little bit of an issue regardless. But now here we go. So that ensuing unsportsmanlike will place the ball what looks to be around the 25-yard line of the Indians on this ensuing kickoff. So Rosemeyer has a lot of work to do here. Would assume he would squib it, not keep this in the air.
So the Titans should get good field possession off this kickoff because of that unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, again, we talked about it before. The drive starts from the return. Definitely need a good return here for the Titans. So let's see where Rosemeyer puts it. A good kick. It's going to drop back around the 15. It's going to get taken back around to the 20, the 25. Orga looking for some space around the right, gets the edge, but taken out around what looks to be the 30. And we're going to have a flag thrown on the field, most likely against the Indians. Most likely an unnecessary roughness on the Indians on that return.
I did see a small little push between a Titans and Indians player. I'm not sure who. It could be on both teams' end, so I'm not sure. And the game has been getting a little scrappy. There has been a few flags. That's not something you want to see. That does make the game, it slows the game down, and it's not as fun to watch.
Yeah, I think one thing is you definitely don't want to get too scrappy, especially early here in the second quarter. You still have about a whole 3 quarters left of football to play. You don't want to see it get ugly, so we're going to have a holding on the offense.
The call is holding on Shaler.
Well, not the call we thought it would be, but otherwise it is against Shaler. And it takes away that good field position that the Titans wouldn't have, and now they just have an average field position of around the 20.
Yeah, you definitely want to don't give up mistakes. You just can't give up any, especially if you're the Titans. You need every yard you can get. So with a lot of work to do, the Titans now in 4-receiver set. Schmatenka in the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks left. Fires left, dumped out to Miller, but tried to catch it one hand a little bit high, but will drop out. Tried to pull it in and grab it with one hand, but not able to make it happen. So that'll be an incompletion and a second down for the Titans.
Surprising there, because the Titans, I've seen them run that play a lot, and it usually is very effective. So for them to miss it, it is surprising. And one thing we've been saying is, oh, there's rain, it's wet conditions, and the receivers will have a tough time to catch it. But what about the quarterbacks? They will have a tough time to throw it, get the ball as accurate. Indians, though, they were able to get it. Duggar was able to get it. Let's see how Schmatenka adjusts as well.
Yeah, it's a great look as he steps back, has time, looks left, has to scramble to his right. Looks for something, anything, but not able to make anything happen. Yep, and we're going to have an incompletion, but a flag thrown on the field.
I'm not sure what it was. I did see the marker go down near an Indians player. Maybe he smacked it down. I'm not sure.
Not sure. It looked to be an incompletion anyways. Not sure what the flag could be on.
Yeah.
So the officials will converge.
Well, if we assume that, let's just assume it's third down here. Let's assume it's 3rd and 10 for the Titans. What do you think they would go for?
It's tough to say. I would have thought they would have gone for maybe a run on 1st or 2nd down, try and switch things up, but they're sticking to the pass, which isn't a bad option, especially with your run game not being too strong. Let's see, the head official here, we're gonna have, so pass interference on the offense and an unsportsmanlike on the defense, which will offset, but then another call on the defense. So it looked to be, was it a helmet to helmet? It looked like something of a helmet to helmet or an unsportsmanlike conduct call. So that'll move the ball now for the Titans. So again, another costly mistake for the Indians, and that'll move the ball another 15 yards for the Titans, Casey.
Yeah, and one thing that head coach John Ledon will be upset with will be these flags by the Indians and by the defense, really, because they've been giving the Titans yards, and they're getting close to giving the Titans more yards than their own offense has. So that's something that will need to be fixed for the Indians.
Yeah, for sure. If you're the coach Ledon, you don't want to see that. And the Indians, again, they have had troubles with containing themselves and their, I wouldn't say energetic attitude, but the celebrations and after the play dramatics need to be held down especially. But again, here we go with the Titans. Schmatenka scrambles and taking himself for about a 3-yard gain. But as I was just saying a couple of seconds ago, the Indians in past years have had this weird issue where after plays, you know, they get a little bit charismatic and, you know, enthusiastic after a play, and they'll draw flags, you know, maybe a celebratory, you know, little shove or something like that, and they'll draw a flag. And it's not a good look, especially in the second quarter. And if that continues, that could be a big game changer, especially if you get some personal fouls. You don't want to see that, especially if it's an important player. You don't want to see him out of the game.
Yeah, and while the celebrations are good.
Oh, and a fumble. Fumbled, snap by Schmatenka, and it'll fall at the 30. Goodness me, had you stopping in your tracks there, Casey. But a fumbled snap will drop it back to the 30-yard line, so it'll be a fourth. Oh, yeah, it looks to be a 4th, excuse me. Casey, go back to what you were saying.
So for the Indians, while being excited, while the celebrations, that's okay, that's good. I've even seen Bill Belichick, you know, one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time. He's all for stuff like that because it gets in the opponent's head. But there's a line that's drawn, and if they go over that line too much, that's when it gets costly for the Indians. So they just have to find that line and stay behind it.
Yeah, great call. Schmatenka drops back, swarmed by a bunch of Indians, has to scramble, tries to make a move and not able to make much happen. He'll get back to his own 28.
And it turns out that was 3rd down.
It was 3rd and 17. The scoreboard had us mixed up, so that'll be a 4th. and what looks to be a 4th and 16. And the tackle there made, I believe I heard Duggar, and it will not be Julian, it'll be Jade, and he's playing both sides of the ball tonight. So let's see, the Titans have to punt away. And I think we're gonna have a timeout called here by the Indians. So LaDon definitely trying to probably make something happen here on this return. Titans at their own 30. The punt will be probably taken from the 15-ish from Miller. I would assume this return will get taken around the 45-50, Casey. So what do you expect from the Indians in this return?
On this return, the fact that they took a timeout, it is either for one or two reasons. Maybe it's for clock saving reasons, try to get a nice long drive, get good points, or maybe they're thinking of something else on this play, something creative. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you never know. There could be a little trick lateral here or there, but with one in return coverage for the Indians.
What does matter here on the punt, though, is Josh Miller, so he's going to be the one that decides how this play does go.
Yeah, and Miller's going to punt it off to Cameron Thomas, number 7 of the Indians, at the 40-yard line. It's going to be low again, fumbled. He's got to get it off. And blocked and picked up by Miller. An unusual play again. It'll only get back out to the 18-yard line. And again, not sure what the issue is, but the snaps again are low on the punts, and that's going to cost Shaler now as the ball gets to the 18-yard line in great position for the Indians.
Yeah, and there once again, nothing much Miller can really do there. I mean, just another poor snap. I mean, that ball landed a good at least 3 yards in front of him, so it wasn't much he could do there. Punt gets blocked. It was good to be able for him to pick it up, so the Indians turn run back into the end zone. But now the Indians will start in the red zone on this drive as the rain really starts to come down.
Yeah, it's definitely coming down, Casey. So how does that affect Julian Duggar? Hasn't affected him much as he sets in shotgun. Mitchell behind him, 3 receivers set. And it'll get handed off at the middle of Mitchell. He'll look for some extra yards, and he'll get in for the score. What a great run, a great after push, and a great score by Natel Mitchell of the Indians. And an instant impact off of that mistake from the Titans. So that'll put 6 more on the board for the Indians.
And while Mitchell just exploded through the line of scrimmage, right through the hole created by his offensive line, and was able to break a tackle or two, drag a man into the end zone for an impressive touchdown. But once again, the Titans there, unfortunate mistake, causes another score.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it earlier, mistakes are going to cost the game as Rosemeyer puts this one through. So that'll make the score 21-3. The Indians lead the Titans with 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So again, like I was saying, these mistakes, they can add up. They can be costly, and they can, to be honest, they can cost you a game.
Yeah, and right now, even though we've been talking about the Indians' mistakes, the Titans' few mistakes that they have been more costly for the Titans. So that's why the Titans really need to be almost perfect here if they want to stay in this game and have any chance of coming back and winning this game.
Yeah, you definitely need momentum if you're on the Titans side of things. You know, you don't want to, I don't know, falter or, you know, give in to the Indians' pressure momentum. You got to fight back at some point and, you know, give yourself a chance. Down 18 with 7:30 in the quarter, you get the ball back right now. You got to make something happen, especially if you're on the offensive side of things. And again, the return men here are Orga and DiSabato, averaging about 15 to 20 on the returns. They got to make something happen. So Rosemeyer will step back, 46, and he will boot it up. And Orga will take it back around his own 2, taking it out to the right, looking for a hole. Doesn't get the hole, and brought down around what looked to be around the 23-yard line. It was a great wrap-up tackle there. Number 53, Kelsey Hundley on the tackle. It was a great look and a great wrap-up tackle on Orga, and Orga brings it back around 20 yards up to the 23. So decent starting position for the Titans, Casey.
Yeah, and here for the Titans offense, in my opinion here, I think they need a very good drive here. I need to see them at least get to the 30, and even if they don't score, that gives the offense positives to go off of in this second quarter. Obviously, points would be best here.
Yeah, for sure. And then Smetanka under center gives it off to Miller. Miller with an extra push. He'll get about 5 yards on a good extra push there from Josh Miller. Haven't seen, again, a lot of runs, especially on that last drive. They went primarily passing. Now, in this situation, Casey, what do you look for?
Well, I said on the play before, they need to get to the 30. I meant the Indians 30, not their own 30. Obviously, 5 yards on a drive isn't that great. But right here, they need a big drive. I need to see more Smetanka to Miller, I think. I think they need to really get Miller going if they want to get this offense alive.
And as you say that, they line up in that same set as Smetanka rolls out, dumps it off, but dropped by Pierce of the Titans.
Smetanka pass, incomplete.
It's going to be an incomplete pass.
For Carson Pierce.
And that's another drop there as the rain keeps coming down. And as we said before, the wet conditions are definitely having an effect on the hands of multiple players at multiple positions.
Yeah, and as you say that, it's definitely been an effect. And is the rain causing some more problems on the Titans side? As we're going to have a holding on the Titans, so that'll drop them back, I want to say 5 to 10. It's going to be 10, excuse me. So another mistake inside their own half, especially inside their own 30.
And that is something you cannot have on a drive as important as this is. Now they're moving back up, so I'm not sure where they're moving at this point. I'm not sure what the calls are.
Oh, so now we're having...
And Hills declines the penalty.
Oh, they decline it. Okay, interesting call. So they decline a 2nd and 15 for a 3rd and 3, and I think that's a smart play as John Ladon definitely thinks they can stop him here. But Smetanka lines up shotgun, looks right, quick pass to the outside, and caught down the sideline with an open hole, an open gap, and still keeps his feet and still goes. Dom Rossi, a great after move there to get away from his man and get an extra 20 to 30 yards. What a great look by Dom Rossi of the Titans and Keegan Smetanka.
Well, it was a bold call by John Ladon to let the Titans go for on 3rd and 3, and it immediately backfires as Dom Rossi is able to get open, and Smetanka fires a bullet to him, which allows him to catch it before the corner is able to get there and get a possible pick 6, and Dom Rossi is able to take it down into Indian territory.
Yeah, haven't said Rossi's name much tonight, but makes an instant impact on the ball. Smetanka drops back, looks for Orga, but another incompletion, and again, Casey, I chuckle a little bit because I've been counting in my head a little bit. I think that's the 6th drop pass already in this game on both sides of the ball. I think 4 for the Titans, 2 for the Indians.
Yeah, and that's really affecting both offenses right now, especially the Titans. And for the Titans, I think 3 of them have come on plays just like that. So obviously something needs to improve. I don't know, maybe a new set of gloves or something. I'm not sure. I don't think they're gonna allow Stickum, John, but I mean, it would definitely
You never
work.
know in the Whitfield. Stickum may be, allowed in this next half here. But as Smetanka steps back, drops back, look for something, has to scramble to his right, looks for a pass, and caught around the 20, around the 34-yard line. Looks like the Dom Rossi again, and it will be Dom Rossi. So again, Casey, you talked about it last week and the last couple of weeks. How does Smetanka's mobility affect his arm strength and his throwing accuracy? And right there it showed as he scrambled to his right and found Dom Rossi for the first down.
Yeah, it was a good play by Dom Rossi to come back for his QB and give him an option, get open, and he's able to get in position for a first down. It was smart to just take it and go on his knee to not risk anything like a fumble.
Yeah, it was a great look, and here we go again. They're going to fake the handoff to Orga, and Smetanka tries to take it himself, and he'll get wrapped up around the 35-yard line. It was a great look and a great wrap up there.
So clearly for the Titans offense, their outside runs aren't working nearly as well as it is for the Indians. So I doubt they look for that again anytime soon. I expect them to go another pass play since it's working and maybe try to find Don Rossi, because on this drive, he has looked electric, one of his best drives at wide receiver.
Yeah, it was a great look there, especially, but again, Kai Parker stopping the Titans in their tracks. Causes a 2nd and 13 now for the Titans. They line up quad receiver set. Man in motion. Smetanka spins out to his right. Looks for a man across the middle. That'll be Joey DiSabato. Tried to catch it one hand and pull it in, but popped out. Will be an incomplete pass.
Intended for DiSabato.
So now, an incomplete pass, which if it was completed, which would have been about a 5-yard gain, brings up a 4th and 13.
Well, Jim Ryan, it looks like it's definitely liking these plays with Smetanka rolling out and using his legs. And while they have an effective, that one not as effective. He isn't able to find his favorite target, DiSabato. So now the Titans face a big 3rd and 13 here. Let's see what they do with it.
So they go trips left, Smetanka in the shotgun. Lines up, takes a couple steps, gets pressure instantly from the right, and sacked in the backfield by number 43 of the Indians. That'll be Keith Pellman, and what a great look and a great sack off the edge by Pellman, and stops the Titans in their tracks.
That's a huge sack by Pellman. That stopped all of the Titans' momentum that they had going on there. With their best drive, I'd say, even though they drove farther down the field on their field goal, that one was their most individual effort on that drive. But overall, it was a good drive up until that play for the Titans. It's a lot more positive going into it. So now with this punt away, it'll be really important for the defense to get a stop.
And before we can even get to the defense, the snap has to be good, and it is good. So Miller's going to boot it up. It'll land around the 15, take a roll, and bounce into the end zone. So that'll be a touchback. No Titan was able to stop that, so that'll go back to the 20. But again, the snap was better, and Miller able to get it off, so the Indians will end it out with the ball at the 20. But like you said, Casey, there were major improvements in that drive, and I think one that I noticed for sure was that the Titans receivers were getting a lot more open, especially on these comebacks and go routes and these cross fades throughout the field.
Yeah, it was a lot better from the Titans wide receiver core, and it needs to be a lot better for them for Smetanka to have options, but their hands definitely need to improve. As you said, 4 drops already by the Titans. That can happen. They need to be more secure when the ball is coming towards them.
Yeah, no mistakes now, especially with still 4 minutes and down 18. The Indians have a lot of room to work with and a lot of time to work with as well, as quad receiver set with Duggar in the back and Key to his left. Takes the snap. He'll fake it and take it up the middle. He gets to the 20, the 30. He's got to the 35, cuts inside to the 40, and a great run and a great look by Julian Duggar.
Yeah, big run up the middle by Duggar. It was a great read, able to come back up the middle for a big hole, and now immediately the Indians are already almost at midfield, so we'll see what the Titans can do here, and once again, it's that run defense that comebacks to bite them.
And there will be a flag on the play. It's going to be holding on the Indians, so that'll drop him back 10. But I think one thing that I've noticed about Duggar is, you know, we like to do a lot of NFL comparisons when we do these games. I think one guy that he reminds me of the most is Lamar Jackson.
I don't know about all that.
I would say it's a true statement. I think that mobility there shows that he has the effectiveness in the run mobility side, but his arm has also proven himself, especially on that 30-yard bomb to his brother.
I'd give it more of a Cam Newton.
I could also see that as well, but overall, he's looking great for a sophomore quarterback as he steps back. A lot of good steps and looks out to the right. Open man, Amir Key. He's down to the 50, to the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30, hits a man and gets dropped around the 25-yard line. So a great look by Duggar to Key, and we talked about Key on the run side of things. Haven't seen him on the receiving, but makes an instant impact for the Indians.
Yeah, I think the man covering Key, I don't know if it was because of Key's route, but he slipped and fell, and that let Key get wide open. And once he's wide open, with a great pass by Duggar, hit him in stride, he was able to just sprint and go and gets a huge gain there for the Indians. And now we'll see what they can do on the 25.
Yeah, definitely the dual threats of the Indians starting to show now with the 1st and 10 at Shaler's 25 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. So now Duggar will snap, throw it inside to the other Duggar, and he'll cut inside to around the 18-yard line. That was Julian to Jaden. It was a good screen and a good cut inside as the Titans got instant pressure on the ball. So that'll set up a second and what I believe a 3rd or 4.
Now, even though we have been talking about the Titans run defense, I wouldn't be surprised if the Indians do go pass a lot on this short drive, even though they don't have a lot to go through. I expect them to try to find either Jaden Duggar or Key.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out for those names as here we go. Duggar in the shotgun. Takes the snap, will take it himself, but gets swarmed by Titan, but still on his feet. Spins around. Oh, wait a minute. Ball was out. Fumbled. Wait.
I think the Titans just got a turnover.
Oh my goodness. It looked like Duggar, after his extra push and spin away, fumbled the ball, and the Titans jumped on it immediately. Couldn't even see it from here. What a great look. And a great stop there by the Titans. Duggar looked like he had 5 more and looked towards the end zone for a touchdown. So now 2:40 remaining. The Titans with a 1st and 10, their own 10. And a lot of work to do. Have to make something happen. As Shpatanka line shotgun, quad receiver set. They'll go 5 now. And the Titans hold him off. Low snap, has to get it off. Good throw, a good catch by DiSabato, and an even better hit by number 8, I believe, of the Penn Hills Indians. That'll be Parker, but that'll be a flag on the play, most likely an unnecessary roughness. So, am I on?
Personal foul.
So now we're going to have a personal foul against the Indians on the hit on DiSabato. He's able to haul it in, but that'll be an unnecessary roughness. And again, we talked about it. You don't want to give up unnecessary mistakes and penalties, even if you're up.
And right there on that play, that was scary flashbacks of last week with DiSabato. That could have been a lot worse. The play was a lot similar. He gets a big hit on him, but he looks good. He's able to stay on the field right now.
And Shpatanka lines up. He's going to dump it off to Miller. Miller's going to look for the outside gap. And he's going to get there to around the 33-yard line, out of bounds.
Shpatanka pass complete.
Well, they were finally able to run that play with a catch, so that's good to see. It's a nice short gain. They like to see that. And as we rewind back on the Titans turnover, I wasn't sure what was going on. I heard voices. I saw one of the Titans players like sprinting off the field in celebration. I was like, why would you be doing that? I mean, they just got a first down, and what do you know? Fumble, turnover, great play by the Titans defense to give the offense another chance.
Yeah, another chance that they get. Again now, 5 receivers set. Keegan Shpatanka in the back by himself, receiver in motion. He'll step back. He'll dump it off to Caden Orga, looking for something around the 30. He'll get in to around the 33-yard line again. Gets a gain of about 2 or 3 maybe. So another short pass around to the outside. Not able to make much happen. The Indians are having great closing areas and speed.
Yeah, one thing about the Titans here is that they like to run plays like that a lot, but whenever they do, the receiver will try to turn the ball upfield, but there's no blockers for him, so every time he'll have at least 2 guys going to tackle him, and it's always hard to get any yards from that.
Timeout.
And we're going to have a timeout here by the Indians. That'll be their last of the half. But that'll be at the 2-minute mark. Not sure why they took it. Should have been the 2-minute warning anyways.
I don't think there's 2-minute warnings in.
It's the end of the half, I believe, no?
No, I don't think in high school.
Huh.
Yeah, I think 2-minute
Must be
warning,
confused.
I think 2-minute warning is only an NFL thing, so they can get their commercials.
Good point. The commercial estate is high in the NFL realm, not in the high school realm. So you probably have a very good point there, Casey. But the timeout does give both sides now a time to take a breather in the rain and to reset themselves. So now with a 2nd and 8 at their own 32, the Titans have a lot of room to work with, but a lot of work to do.
Yeah, now here it is. The Titans surely have practiced a lot. A 2-minute drill here, quite literally a 2-minute drill where the Titans, they definitely need a score. They'll want to score because that would be absolutely fantastic. If the Titans were able to get a touchdown here and receiving the ball in the second half, they could potentially get a big swing on this ball game.
Yeah, the momentum is a big deal here in this game so far. Even down 18, anything can happen. So now Shpatanka, quad receiver set, 1 to his right. And he's gonna dump off the Miller around the 32. He's gonna get it outside, make a man miss, and get to the 36, 7, I believe. So that'll cause a 3rd and 4, I believe.
Yeah, Titans look like they went trips there, but Shpatanka's able to find Miller on the shorter route and gets a good gain from that play as the clock keeps running, though. They do have to hurry up the pacer since 30 seconds and counting have already passed. But I am not sure what's happening as
we're gonna have unsportsmanlike again. I believe an unsportsmanlike, a possible helmet to helmet again. Must have been on Duggar who made the tackle. So that'll be taunting, excuse me. That makes a little bit more sense. So that'll be another first down for Shaler and a move of the change and 15 more yards. And Casey, we've been saying it all night. The mistakes and the unnecessary penalties from the Indians are just making this harder than it needed to be for them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that LaDon will be furious about coming into this halftime. And as my experience as a high school sports player, stuff like that, that's going to get you doing sprints the next practice. So the Indians definitely need to be a lot more disciplined throughout this game. And I may have to say, though, that these penalties are what's maybe keeping the Titans in this game, definitely. So the Titans will have to capitalize on this drive.
Yeah, the Titans have to use every penalty to their advantage in the best way possible. And a long huddle here from the Titans. Really have to figure out what they're doing. So with the ball around the 48 of the Titans, or possibly the Indians, either or, looks to be the Indians. It will be the Indians. And they'll go quad receivers, trips to the left. Miller to the right of Schmitenka and shotgun. Dom Rossi on the far side of the field. Schmitenka looks left, has a lot of time. He'll fire it off, and just out of the hands and out of the reach of James Sanders, not able to pull it in for the catch. So that'll bring up a second and 10 for the Titans.
With another trips there, Schmitenka could have went to Miller again on that shorter route, but he opts to go for James Sanders. It's just out of his reach here. And with 1:26 left, Titans need to get down the field here, see if he can get his top receiver like DiSabato going, but he'll definitely be looking for Miller once again with his explosive speed and his great strength.
Yeah, anyone that can get open, he'll probably look for as Schmitenka stands in shotgun, trips left. We're going to have a false start.
Flag on the field.
On the offense, I believe.
I think it may have been against Doherty.
No, I believe it was against TJ Bells on the near side of the field, number 21. So that's going to cause a penalty and a 2nd and 15 now for the Titans.
As they huddle up here, 2nd and 15, they got a lot of yards to go with a little time left here. What do you expect to see out of the Titans?
Well, honestly, Casey, it's been a lot of pass, and I wouldn't expect them to go back to the run or anything power. And as they go trips left again, Rossi on the far side, we'll probably see pass as Schmitenka looks to his right.
There it is.
Looks for something. He's got Rossi, and, not Rossi, but anyways, it's picked off regardless by the Indians. Looks to be number 3, Chase Barney on the interception. What a great look there. And a great catch and an even better interception from Barney. And the Titans not able to make anything happen. Schmitenka, I believe, actually looked for Miller on that far side.
Well, right there, that's exactly what you can't have with the Titans. They really wanted points out of that drive. They really needed points out of that drive. And for them to get a turnover, that's a big swing in this game. And with 1:06 left, with the ball at the 25, even though they have no timeouts, Indians definitely have a chance if they want to try to go down the field quickly and get more points.
Yeah, they could definitely make something happen. They've been lethal all night tonight. And let's see how they line up. They'll go quad receiver set. Duggar with Key in the backfield. And let's see what the call here is. Gonna have a little bit of a stoppage.
With the quick drive, coming up here, what do you need to see out of the Titans defense?
Well, they got to hold down for sure and stay accountable, but stay home. Don't give in at all. The secondary has to be pretty impeccable. Jaden Duggar on the far side is going to create some problems. Can Timmy Agbale hold it down on that far side of the field? And Duggar will take the snap, give it a quick throw out, was tipped away.
Duggar pass incomplete.
Looked to be like Tristan Holland on there, got a hand on it. So he'll knock that away.
That's a good, important tip right there by Holland. And it's a good start for the offense. Anytime right now that the offense can prevent yards is a good start, is a good sign for the Titans, and it shows improvement.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want anything major to happen right now. And again, Duggar now with Key, he's looking deep. And over the middle, incomplete. I believe was looking for number 22, Brendan Hill. wasn't able to find him over the middle. An incomplete pass, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 with 1 minute and 9 seconds left in the second quarter.
Titans catch a break there because Duggar definitely had his man in the middle. He was wide open, but it's way behind him. So the Titans catch a break here, and now 3rd and 10. If the Titans can get a stop on this play, I mean, they'll have 3, possibly 2 timeouts mattering on if the clock keeps running. They could still have a chance to maybe go down the field and try to get some more points.
Yeah, for sure. Again, they go quad receiver set, key in the back. Duggar, low snap, looks left. Pressure immediately. He's going to look for something. He's out to the 30. He's going to look left at the 35, the 40. Not wrapped up yet, and will run out of bounds at the 43-yard line. And a great look and an even better run there from Duggar, and that'll move the chains and stop the clock now, Casey.
Yeah, really great play by Duggar, able to make something out of nothing with his receivers smothered downfield, and a really smart play as well to turn upfield and look for the sidelines to get himself basically a free timeout.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great, and it's a smart play, especially, again, Duggar, he could try and stay in bounds and maybe get an extra 3, you know, do a little flashy stutter, try and keep it going, but he's smart and stops the clock now, so he'll have the ball around the 40 as he steps back, shotgun, looking right. He's got a lot of room, but he's going to dump it off into the middle, picked off by the Titans, and a great look and an even better catch by Corbin Siddick of the Titans, and the Titans get the ball back.
Huge play by Siddick right there. He was sitting under and was able to jump up and make the interception. Massive, massive play for the Titans. If they want to stay in this game, they couldn't allow points on that drive, and that's exactly what they do. Able to get the turnover, and with 53 seconds left in all 3 timeouts, the Titans definitely still have a chance here to come down the field and try to get some points on the board.
Yeah, Siddick had a great look there, especially with Duggar looking like he was going to roll to the left. Must have read his eyes as he tried to bring it back to the right on the throw. Just had the right spot and the right timing. Jumped up, picked it off, and now the Titans again now in quad receiver set. As Shpatenko looks left. Pressure from his right. Buttle caught by Sanders. He'll get about 3. He'll get wrapped up. And gonna have a probable timeout from the Titans.
Timeout.
It will be a timeout here, and 45 seconds left. You've got 2 timeouts. Titans, they're gonna go think this over. What do you think they're thinking about right now?
It's hard to say. You know, we're not in that mindset nor in that huddle right now. But I think one thing for the Titans is definitely you gotta kind of band together and say, hey, we still got 45 seconds, 2 timeouts. We can make something happen here. You know, we're at our own 42, but anything can happen. And if he can, and again, Shpatenko had an early look. Again, remember that Dom Rossi pass for about 30 yards. If he can get that, they could be in great position here to put some numbers up on the board. But Penn Hills has been pretty phenomenal, Casey. You know, that defense has been pretty impeccable with only 3 points against them. It's hard to say how each side could go at this right now.
Yeah, they have been really good out there, the Indians defense, and it's just a few laps of mind judgment, you know, where that's where they've allowed Titans yards, and Titans, they need to get a big drive here. They need to get points on the board.
For sure, and again, Shpatenko, quad receiver set, 1 to his left. At the time, has to scramble actually, and he'll just dump it off. And we're gonna have another flag on the field.
Flag on the play.
I'm not sure. It might be against the Indians. It's either gonna be against the Indians or intentional grounding, I think.
I don't think it was intentional grounding. It looked like he got out of the pocket and was able to throw that one off. Let's see. Let's wait for the call.
It may have also actually been against the Titans, but non-intentional grounding. I do see some fingers pointing by the refs towards the Titans huddle.
Let's see. Finger pointing and the head referee talking to Coach John Ladon of the Indians.
So I think it definitely will be against the Titans here.
Not too sure, actually. He might just be explaining it to Ladon.
Well, Ladon doesn't look too upset right now, but I mean, right there, Indians are able to get immediate pressure on Shpatenko, allow him nothing right there, and refs still talking this over. I'm not.
Must be a pretty important penalty if they're going to talk this one over. We're going to have another flag get thrown.
Well, that one.
Oh,
that
it's
one,
on the coach.
Yeah, that one. I was saying that one definitely has to be on the Indians then. I mean, that's where all the referees are.
So let's see.
Ladon
And again, excuse me, Casey, but we've been talking about it again the whole night. The mistakes are adding up, and now it's adding up on the coach's side of things for the Indians. At some point, you got to control it.
Yeah, and with the really stellar display by the Indians on the field,
It's kind of taking away from it.
yeah, like, I mean, it's just really poor to see out there. The lack of discipline right now by the Indians it's not good to see, and it's just really taking away all the positives that the Indians have had.
Yeah, it's definitely something you don't want to see, especially if, you've had a spectacular offense and a spectacular defense, and now you're kind of throwing it to the dirt because you keep giving up dumb penalties and mistakes. And, it's just not something you want to see. It's not a good look in general. It's not going to be a good look, and, teams don't like it when you're going to go out of your way to get penalties. So let's see. It actually might be 2 penalties on the Indians.
I do have to say, though, that with these penalties, and this is the first time the Titans have played in the game with a lot of flags, the Titans the whole season, though, they've looked disciplined. They haven't really been,
There hasn't been any unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct. They've had
taunting.
Yes, they've had holdings and everything, but they haven't done anything extreme. But let's see what the call here is from the head official. So we're going to have a intentional grounding offense. And that was expected, okay. And now we're going to have unsportsmanlike dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. So, personal foul, excuse me, against Penn Hills, and that'll overrule the intentional grounding, and it should move the ball for the Titans.
well, with only 39 seconds left in the half, this has just extended it real far. Referees still discussing. None of the players have moved up or down the field yet. They're still at their same spots, waiting for decisions.
Would be very upsetting if we sat here for 3 minutes and the ball didn't move.
Yeah, I'd be just a little bit peeved.
So let's see. They will have the ball and move it forward from the 22. They'll take a couple of steps, and they'll take some more steps, and even more steps.
Going on a nice
And
little jog.
even more steps.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness,
my.
Casey. They'll take it all the way out to the 47. So it was 2 penalties on the Indians, an unsportsmanlike and a personal foul. A dead ball personal foul is what it was.
I think what it was is that since they were both dead ball fouls.
No, one wasn't. Oh, yes, one was. Yeah, but they both were. So it offsets, and they both add up. Yes, good call, Casey.
Yeah, so I mean, with that 39 seconds left, not much time for the Titans to get that big yardage right there into Indians territory. That's huge. How do you expect them to capitalize? I think they're obviously going to go past what type of plays you see.
These quick out routes haven't been terrible, but they can't hold up too long. This Indians coverage is really good, especially with guys like Duggar and Parker out there. Let's see, they go trips right. Schmatenkis takes a snap. He'll look right, has a lot of time in the pocket. He's going to look left, probably take the scramble out, and he will. He'll get to the 45 and the 40, and he'll just run it out of bounds. So smart play by Schmatenka. So he'll get there and stop the clock at 31 seconds, move the chains, get to the 35, 34.
Yeah, very good play by Schmatenka right there. His receivers covered downfield, nowhere to go. He's able to take outside off some good blocks from his O-line. Able to rush out there. First down. No, not first down.
Excuse me. They're going to say it was at the 39. It looked like he got a little bit farther than that.
Yeah, so 2nd and 2, but still a good gain on first down. Able to get out of bounds as well, so that's good to stop the clock. And 31 seconds here, the clock's about to run out.
And seems like the Titans are going to have to call their last timeout.
And I don't know if they definitely, I don't think they really want to do that. I mean,
I don't think they wanted to either, but it's not a bad timeout, especially you just get to talk over with your team real quick, and they know to go out of bounds.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Schmatenka made a great play there to get out of bounds, stop the clock, so almost like a waste of its efforts, I'd say.
Yeah, not something that you definitely wanted to use, but overall, it's not a terrible timeout to take.
Yeah, and they'll be talking over their decision, talking over the game plan right now, because everyone in that huddle down there knows they need points. They need to get back in this game, because if they get points right here in this drive, they can get touchdown, and they come out in the next half with a touchdown without even Indians touching a ball, give it a four-point game, that is massive.
Absolutely, Casey. You said it perfectly, and honestly, better than most people would think of it. And now the Titans line up 5-receiver set. Shvatenka alone in the backfield. He'll look to his right off the snap, and he'll get it out, but dropped. Looked by Dom Rossi. So it'll be a dropped pass. Tried to make a move a little bit too early. Didn't haul it in. So that would be a 3rd and 2 for the Titans.
I think Rossi definitely felt Duggar coming up behind him, and I think it may have been also a little classic case of running before you catch the ball. So that is something that definitely needs to improve the hands of the Titans receivers, as 5 drops I think that is. So big 3rd down here for the Titans. They need yards right here.
Absolutely, Casey, as they stand down 18 points and 27 seconds left in this half and in the quarter. They're going to make something happen. So 5 receivers set, 3 to the right, 2 to the inside. Shvatenka looks left, has pressure to his left, has to get it out, will not be able to find anyone. And we'll have another flag. Not sure on what. And again, Casey, a lot of flags reminds us of the Penn Trafford game a little bit, where they were just unnecessary flags and penalties. But if this one is intentional grounding, I will not say this was necessarily an unnecessary penalty, and I think it will be, as the Titans have started to already move back.
Yeah, and that would be a loss of downs, and I think, do they do a 10-second runoff on that too? Because that would be a big call as well.
Off a loss of down, intentional grounding, not sure. It'll still only be 4th down anyways. Doesn't switch sides. Let's see. Intentional grounding on the offense. Can confirm. So they're going to move it back. So it'll be a 4th down with 19 seconds left. So the Titans going to throw up a Hail Mary, I believe. Throw something up.
I think they definitely, on this play, they'll go more conservative, at least try to get some guaranteed yards to get the play in the Shvatenka's range more for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, so they'll line up 4 receivers set, 1 in the backfield, have a blocker back there for Shvatenka. Instant pressure, but he'll launch it to the right and up in the air and picked off by Duggar again. A great pickoff and a great interception, a great look, and just overall great defense by Jaden Duggar.
Yeah, and they definitely didn't go the conservative right there. And what we said earlier, Shvatenka's receivers, they don't have that height, but number 11, Jaden Duggar, he's 6'4". He towers over Shvatenka's receivers, so jump balls up there like that, the chances of those being successful for the Titans are slim to none.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough to say. You know, a lot of these young, this is a very young receiving core. I believe average of sophomores, Kay Norga, DiSabato, Bells, very young receiving core. Only 2 seniors, I believe, on the core with Dom Rossi and Schlegel being out. Rossi's the only one. They still have a lot to learn, especially with the instance of height. But as the Indians take the knee, that'll end things out here in the first half of play as the Penn Hills Indians lead the Shaler Titans 21-3. Join us back in the second half after the marching band performance.
Halftime score, Penn Hills 21.
We're the 2021 dance team, and you're watching SATV.
Shaler area, our award-winning Titan Marching Band. We proudly take the field celebrating 50 years of Titan pride in collaboration with 50 years of Walt Disney World Magic. The past year has brought many uncertainties, but we found the courage to travel into the unknown. You're welcome to navigate these uncertain times with a friend like me.
welcome you back to the second half of the Penn Hills Indians versus the Shaler area Titans, and we welcome you after that amazing halftime performance by the Shaler area band themselves. Great performance, Casey, and an even better way to transition into the next half of plays. The Indians lead the Titans 21-3, but the Titans do receive the ball. We'll talk a little bit about the recap of last half real quickly after this kick, as Rosemeyer gets ready to boot it away, and he does. Taking it about the 5. Looks like Signetti on it. He'll take it out to, excuse me, that's Josh Miller, I believe, out to the 35-yard line. A pretty good, excuse me, the 25 to the 28. A pretty good return. It was either Luke Signetti or Josh Miller on the return. But either way, good starting field position for the Titans. So now, Casey, give a little bit of a recap on both sides of the ball that you saw last in the first half.
Well, for the Titans offense, not much productive except for a few bright spots here and there. Obviously, that interception at the end, towards the end of the half. And then on punts, that wasn't very good. They had 2 bad snaps. And then also on their drives, they cut breaks from the undiscipline of the Indians defense. And on the other side of the ball, run defense needs to still improve.
Yeah, you made some great points. I'll hit those up later. As a short carry, I believe, from Josh Miller, we only get about 2 yards. And Casey, you said it pretty spectacularly. The Titans had early mistakes that led to the Indians furthermore putting points on the board. But the Indians also, towards the end of the half, started making mistakes themselves, unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike, personal fouls, tauntings. You know, just showing a lot of undisciplined actions that don't need to necessarily be in the game. Not even in the sense of it looks bad, but you know, you still want to play lights out. You're not, you know, dumb penalties equal dumb mistakes. So now again, Stratenka under the line will get out to Miller. He'll have some more room after that initial touch and tackle, and he'll get all the way out for a first down out to the 41-yard line.
That's a bright start right there, because last half, the run game for the Titans was almost non-existent with the Indians' defensive line. They got a lot of pressure. We're stopping everything at the line of scrimmage. So for them to come out here, get a nice first down with Miller on their second play of the half, that's a good start right there.
Yeah, and if you're the Titans, you can only hope that maybe the Indians do get a little bit complacent and start to kind of get on their heels, and you can catch them off guard. And again, I formation for the Titans. Quick, looked like a, it looks like a fumble off of the fullback dive. Is going to get picked up by the Indians and tackled by Josh Miller around the 7-yard line. Looked like a fullback dive to Tortorella. Ball came out, popped out, recovered by Kai Parker. He's been saying his name all night tonight. They're making big plays back and forth. He'll take it back to about the 3-yard line. And now what looked to be a good start for the Shaler Titans on their drive, the Indians make it work and turn it around and bring it back and right back in the Titans' face. It was actually around the 10, they'll say, so 1st and 10.
Yeah, another big mistake there by the Titans, another turnover by the Titans, and that just kind of takes away everything. They got the ball at the start of this half with a good chance to be able to try to drive down the field and get back in this game, but for them to give it up right there and the Indians being able to start at the 10-yard line already, that's a real bad start.
Yeah, and again, so now looks to be shotgun for Duggar. He'll hand it off to what looks to be Mitchell, and he'll gain about a gain of about 4. I believe that was Mitchell on the carry, so he'll get about 4. Excuse me, number 12, Jameer Brown. So a good carry for him, gains about 5. So 2nd and 5 now for the Indians. And I expect a nice little punch in here, either from Duggar, or if we do see Kean Casey, wouldn't be surprised if we hear his name get called.
Yeah, and Titans defense here once again facing adversity, being again in the red zone, set up by the Titans offense, once away, giving it away like so often this season. So let's see if they can get another red zone turnover like they have this season.
Like I said, a man in motion. Duggar, he looks left, has to scramble away. Chased down by Titan, will throw it up, but out of bounds. It was a good scramble by Duggar, looking for his brother Jaden, but not a little bit over his hand slash head. Wasn't able to pull it in. So now that'll be a 3rd and 5 now for the Indians. And if you're Coach John Ladon, I would assume your star running back right now, well, excuse me, there's 2 actually, Key and Mitchell. I would just punch it in.
Yeah, I agree. One of those 2, they both have explosive speed, able to get through the little crack. I would be very unsurprised if they went with either of them here, and it does look likely with how they're lining up.
Yeah, they'll move a man in motion for blocking purposes. They'll give it to Duggar, take it himself. He'll get the outside gap to the right, and he will get in for the score as Julian Duggar takes it himself for the touchdown, the quarterback keep, and that'll put 6 more on the board for the Indians.
Yeah, absolutely not the way you want to start for the Titans. Quickly going down another touchdown, and with the blocking and Duggar's speed, he was able to get to the outside and go in untouched. Great play call there for the Indians' touchdown.
Yeah, very impressive defense to stop, and an even better way to punch the ball in is Duggar, who's done all the other, he's done everything tonight, pass, throw, run, whatever you want from him, he'll do. But it looks like a fake now from the Indians off a 2-point from Duggar, but he'll get tackled around the 6-yard line. Gutsy move there by the Indians as they try and put 2 more on. Not able to make it happen, so now that score will get held to 27 for the Indians to the Titans through with 9:50 remaining in the quarter. Now Casey, for the Titans, what do they have to clean up?
Well, obviously they have to clean up turnovers. That's 2 of their last 3 drives with big turnovers. That needs to be fixed. And then obviously they're going to go past because they need big plays. They need to score quick. So they're going to look for Smetanka's arm, and they're hoping to get that slushy bandit trio I talked about in the pregame show, and that's Smetanka, DiSabato, and Caden Orga. So those 3 need to come up big because Orga and DiSabato, we barely even mentioned their names in the first half. So those 2 need to get open. They need to try to get the ball to those 2 more.
Yeah, you definitely want to see more of them, especially having not heard their names that much tonight. Got to create something, get them going on their feet. They've just been kind of out and about, not able to make anything happen. So you want to see some more room and some more movement from them and get them the ball a little bit more, but don't force it. So now Rosemeyer steps up and he will boot it away. It's a good kick. Taken by Miller at the 5. He looks for an open gap around the left. He'll take it to the right. He'll get a cut inside, but he'll get tripped up around the 18, maybe the 16-yard line.
Yeah, and as the offense comes back out on the field here, you never say never, I don't know if you ever heard of this football team. Not many have when I do ask about them. They're called the New England Patriots.
I can't say I've ever heard of them.
So they were in this big game one time, and they were down 28-3. Titans are now down 27-3, similar score. 28-3 in the third quarter. They're able to come back and win it somehow. Let's see if the Titans can try to emulate the same.
Yeah, you hope that the Titans can pull something off in the same fashion. So now in the I formation, they'll move a man out to the right. Siddick out to the right, he'll move. They'll hand off to Miller off to the right. He'll look for an open gap, not able to make much, has to try and close that edge, and he'll get there for maybe about a gain of about 4.
Miller on the carry.
And the thing about Josh Miller is usually when you want him to kind of step it up, he does, and when you want him to perform big, he does, and he's been doing pretty much anything you can really ask him right now, especially on those long, those are exceptionally long outside runs there.
Yeah, Miller's got just explosive speed and such strength too. Usually whenever he gets the ball, he's able to break at least 1 tackle or maybe 2, 3, you never know. He's one of their definitely best and star players out there. They always want to look for him when they're on offense.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely one of the guys that, you look for, especially on the Titans. Brother Jake Miller played the same positions, linebacker and running back. The big, strong running back who would just plow through people and get more yards after the carry. And Josh does just that and more. So now I formation. It's going to be a pitch out to Tim Igbale. Tim Igbale looking for a gap, and he'll get the gap out to the 25, and he'll get dragged down around the first down marker, but it'll be about 2 yards short, so 3rd and 2. And again, we haven't said Igbale's name much tonight, but last week against Kiski and Pine Richland, I believe, as well, said his name's good bit on the running back core with his speed.
Yeah, definitely looking to change it up here for the Titans. That's his first carry tonight. He does have good speed. That's why they put him at corner. He's very good out there. So sometimes they do look to bring him in at running back, and right there they do get a good few yards out of him.
And it looks like he'll stay back, and they'll hand it off a fullback dive, it looked like, to Tortorella, and they'll get the first off about a gain of about 2. So they'll move the chains.
Tortorella on the
And good right there, fullback dive. Tortorella coming back after, I think it was his fumble, right? Coming back after his fumble, getting a good, just short first down. And even though I did say the Titans need to drive down the field quick, I do like some of these play calls, though. They're good, simple, and they're just getting nice first downs. If they can just keep doing this down the field, it will look good for the Titans offense.
Absolutely, Casey. So they're going to line up in the eye again. 2 receivers to his right. Schmatenka under center. He'll pitch it off to Agbale. Agbale has a blocker in front of him, pushes him away. Gives about a gain of about 3. Still on his feet and still going out of bounds for about a gain of 4 or 5. So again, Agbale adds a little bit of something new. He adds that speed and pressure towards the outside, kind of keeps Penn Hills on their toes, says, hey, you know, you haven't seen much of me tonight, but just know I bring the speed.
Yeah, I think Jim Ryan right now is definitely seeing something in Tim Agbale, liking what he does see out of him. So he will look to keep giving it to him, trying to mix up the snaps between him and Josh Miller, since they both have that explosive speed that the Titans need to get down the field right now.
Absolutely. And they'll go I formation again, under center. And they'll hand it off the middle to Agbale, but will get nowhere as a bunch of Indians swarm and take down Agbale. Parker in on the tackle. I believe Williams in on the tackle. So again, the D-line not letting up on this power run. So it'll give a 3rd down and 7 for the Titans. It's a big 3rd down again. Still not out of their own 40 even. Gonna have to make something happen here.
Yeah, with how much time they have taken off the clock, it's been about 3 minutes so far. They haven't gone too far down the field, so they'll definitely look for, I think, with Schmatenka and his arm, try to get more yards on 3rd and 7.
Possibly, but yes, he will scramble. Schmatenka trying to find something, has to give it off to Tortorella, but will not make anything happen. Hit early and hit hard by number 9, Alan Parker of the Indians. So that'll cause a 4th and 7. Wasn't able to find anything off that scramble from Schmatenka. And unfortunate 4th and out.
Yeah, almost nowhere to go there.
Excuse me.
Almost nowhere to go there for Schmatenka. Had to roll out to his left, and his receivers downfield, they had nowhere to go, nowhere to get open to. Schmatenka just had to get rid of it before he is sacked, and now the Titans face a 4th and 7.
Yeah, and you're looking for a good punt from Josh Miller. 2 in the back now returning from the Indians. Haven't seen that much tonight. So let's see. It's going to be low. He's going to have to get it off. Doesn't get blocked, and it will get off. It'll bounce low, touched by an Indian, but will fall. It's number 3, Chase Barney, trying to get to the outside. He's at the 50, trying to cut it back inside. He's still on his feet at the 40. Still on his feet and will get out of bounds. A great return by Barney. And even better field position for the Indians offense.
Yeah, what is big about the Indians and their success tonight is their starting field position. It's another drive where they're going to start on Titans territory, and that's huge for them, and that's what's allowing them to be able to drive down the field as often and be able to score so many points. I mean, there were 2 Titans turnovers that where the Indians started inside the red zone, so just make it even tougher on the defense. I'm sure they're tiring out right now with how much they've been on the field. I know it's the 3rd quarter is only halfway through, but with how much they've been on the field, how much effort they've been putting in, I'm sure it's starting to set in a little bit.
Absolutely. So now Penn Hills lines in shotgun. Duggar hands it off the key, gets the outside edge, stiff arms, 1 at the 40 and still going at the 30. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10, and dragged down around the 5. What a play by Amir Key of the Indians.
Yeah, and while we have talked about his explosive speed, he shows off some more strength even there, gets a good stiff arm there, is able to get even more yards, and then bursts down the sideline, brings it inside the 10, and now the Titans face another drive, or another play right in front of their own end zone.
He's got absolutely blistering speed off of his first steps. Once he gets open and he gets that edge, have some fun because you may never catch him. So let's see. Head referee will stop for a second. Looks like they wanted to stop the clock.
As they're talking here, Indians, 1st and goal. Once again, what can they do with it? What can the Titans do to try to possibly stop this explosive Indians offense right now?
Let's see what they can do. They line up trips to the right. Key behind Duggar. Duggar out far left. And they'll hand off the Key. He'll get the outside edge. And dragged down by a Titan, Anthony Mazza. He gets in there. And he stops Key after about a gain of 2.
That's a very big tackle by Mazza because Key is so hard to get to and bring down. And with how many times we've seen missed tackles from the Titans tonight, for him to be able to be the first man there and the first man to tackle, that's a really good play by Mazza.
Yeah, absolutely. We said Mazza's name a lot this year, not too much recently, but I believe a freshman or a sophomore. He's made a big impact on this defensive line, and having to step in and at that role, he's been a phenomenal player and will be a phenomenal player for the Titans in years to come. But now again, focusing here, under center, Duggar. He'll hand it off for a fullback dive, and he is in for the touchdown. Number 76, it looks like, of the Indians, number 78, yes, Luke Pugliese, the senior, gets a touchdown on his senior night. What a great play, and a pretty wholesome moment for Luke Pugliese. He is the defensive/offensive lineman getting a full pack dive for the touchdown, Casey.
Yeah, I know that's a really exciting moment when those big guys, they get plays shot up for them to try to push it in, like the fridge of the Chicago Bears. And those guys are always loved by their teammates. And whenever they get touchdowns like that, it's always a feel-good moment.
Absolutely, and Rosemeyer will put that through. So that will make the score 33-3 with the Indians leading the Titans. But again, Casey, it's been an absolute dominant performance from the Indians. And I guess there's attributes to both sides to how it's ended up here. I think one, you can blame mistakes, you can blame, missed potential plays. But I think overall, Penn Hills has found their groove. They started out pretty rough this season, and even being at 4-3 doesn't seem that much of an impressive record, but it's still Penn Hills.
Yeah, and one thing I do say, not just about their season, or not about their season, but just about this second half so far and how they've gotten so much more success than the first half, is right now I don't think they have a single flag on them, which is, compared to that first half, that is a big improvement. And it's really shown here, and it's shown, and their overall improvement has shown these last few games as they've pushed themselves back on track for playoffs with great performances, such as tonight.
Absolutely, they've cleaned it up since half and are continuing to do it as Rosemeyer will kick it off to Miller. Miller at his own 15 will try and take it out. He's got a gap and he's got the edge, and he'll still, after a tackle, still on his feet out to the 30-yard line. So a great after tackle and after the initial touch carry from Josh Miller. But again, like you said, yes, they have cleaned it up. But what you don't want to see is, up 33, guys can lose discipline and guys can start to kind of fade out from the game and not take it as seriously. You don't want to see dumb mistakes because, again, Penn Hills, presuming they win this game, which it will look like it will be, they face they face Kiski, who is a formidable opponent next week. You can't lose any, big guys.
Also, it is good to be respectful as well. You like to keep that in there, keep respect to your opponent.
Absolutely. So Smetanka lines up for the pass. Just a bit short, was looking for Sanders, not able to make it happen. But like you said, Casey, yes, think about respect, and you want respect from other teams because as much as you may be good, it's another thing to be good and be hated.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, sometimes it does get to your head a little bit, especially on nights like this. You're up big,
In the moment on your senior night, you're a 18-year-old kid, of course, yes.
Especially with how chippy sometimes it was in that first half. Sometimes you just gets a little bit in your head.
Absolutely. As Smetanka dumps it off to Miller, and he'll gain about 3.
Smetanka pass complete to Miller.
Yeah, and I think you said it greatly, Casey. You're a young kid, you kind of get lost in the music a little bit, and you kind of just do your own thing. But, it also applies to a sense of maybe coaching, as not only does it kind of hit your team a little bit, it makes your coaches look a little bit like they can't handle the team.
And as a player under your coach, you don't want to put your coach in a bad light because, I'm sure most players do really like their coach, John Ladon, so they wouldn't want to have their actions put him in a bad place.
Absolutely, and then Josh Miller now takes a one-handed grab, and he'll take it about 5 yards for the carry, so that'll add about a 4th and 2 from Smetanka.
Well, 4th and 2 here, you're down 30. Do you go for it here? What do you think?
4th down.
In all my years of doing this, Casey, I don't think I've ever got this ever right. Usually I always have the opposite happen to me. Been with guys like Steve Jones and Dom and you yourself. I've never seemed to gotten the call right, but for me, I'm saying you go power up the middle.
All right, well, it looks like as of now they will go for it. I mean, obviously they could do a Smetanka punt. They've done it in the past, but...
Let's see. They line up 4 receiver set, trips to the right. And Smetanka has to roll immediately, has to dump it off. And caught by the Titans. What a haul in. Number 21, TJ Bells. What a great haul in and a great catch. And an even better throw from Keegan Smetanka, having to roll out of the pocket with 3 Indians behind him.
TJ Bellis right there. He was able to make a great play and come back for Smetanka as he had to roll out to his right. And Titans get a huge first down there that, I mean, if they had any hopes, if there was any sliver of chance, that sliver has stayed there.
Absolutely. And then Smetanka now. Quick pass to Rossi. It'll go for a gain of about 8. And I think that's one thing that we've seen from Smetanka over the games is that his quick passes immediately off the snap to his receivers have grown exponentially better and better. I think earlier we would see, in earlier games he would miss his man, or even in sometimes I feel be timid to throw, knowing that there was guys man-to-man coverage and didn't want to throw a pick. But now he says, hey, if you guys are there, you guys are going to get the ball.
And I know with how he is built, he may not be that type of quarterback. Maybe they like see him grow more into it, is get him more just nice passes where he can just stay calm in the pocket and make a throw instead of always having to roll out, because he does do that quite often.
Exactly, and that's what they just went for right there, is they just tried to go to Sanders again and dropped out of his hands off of the one-hand attempt. So this will end up in a 3rd down and 2 now for the Titans. But yes, Casey, you said it greatly. I think Keegan Smetanka as a sophomore, he has 2 more years left, and he's shown exponential growth throughout this season and how it's going to go in the next season. And Smetanka being, I don't want to say a 3-sport athlete, but he's definitely a 2-sport athlete. He's got a lot of growth and he's got a lot of places he can go to. So how he fares as a quarterback in these next 2 years is going to be great to see. But here he goes, steps back in the shotgun pocket. He's going to dump it off to Miller, and he will get wrapped up immediately by an Indian, and who should be about a yard short. It was a great tackle there. I believe that was number 26, Micah Massey. It's a great tackle and a great wrap-up. They'll call Miller about 2 yards short, I think.
One thing about so far that's happened when Smetanka's throwing the ball is that he is pressured almost immediately, and that's forcing him to have to roll out, go on the run, try to make a throw, which is what I said. They want to see him more in the pocket sometimes, I think. So I think the O-line definitely needs to improve more and give Smetanka more of a chance, and for him to be able to stay calm.
And absolutely, as he rolls out to his right, has to find something. He'll get sacked immediately in the backfield by number 43 of the Indians, Keith Pellman, on his 2nd sack of the night. And what a great call, and Smetanka never saw him coming from the blind side.
And as I just said, the O-line needs to give Smetanka that chance to be able to stay and be able to pass the ball, not get pressured. But there it is, once again, that pressure coming up. And now Titans 4th and forever. Or was that 4th down?
That was 4th and 2.
That was 4th down.
Yes.
Okay. So turnover on downs then.
Not what you wanted to see again, but again, with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the 3rd, not a lot of football left.
Yeah, Titans chances about a quarter of a slim to
Not
none.
in favor if you're in the MGM Casino right now.
Yeah.
So let's see how the Indians line up, and they'll go 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Duggar in the shotgun, 2 behind. Let's see, he'll hand it off to Mitchell. Mitchell has an open hole. He gets to the 40. He's still on his feet. Gets an open edge to the 35, the 30. Still on his feet and out to the 26-yard line. Great run by Natel Mitchell. And these running backs to the the Penn Indians, they're unbelievable, Casey.
Yeah, the running back combo of Amir Key and Natel Mitchell is something similar that the Titans with Signetti and Miller were hoping to have coming into the season, but obviously with injuries all around, they haven't been able to do that. But the Indians, they've been able to do it so well, and that's what's really killed the Titans tonight. It's been those 2 all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an impressive run game. They'll go back to it maybe as Duggar takes the snap. He'll handle out to Key. Key is the open hole at the 25. He's at the 20. He's at the 15. Still on his feet at the 10. At the 5. Still on his feet. And he will be in for the touchdown. What a great run and a great touchdown by Amir Key and Casey. From Natel Mitchell on the first run there. Now to Amir Key. Goodness me, get these running backs on an NFL team at this point.
As we
They're
just
unbelievable.
said, it's been those two tonight, and what an amazing run by Amir Key. I mean, bursts through, breaks multiple tackles, stays on his feet, gets into the end zone for another Indians touchdown. And man, if there's any scouts here on this cold, wet night, they're going to be watching with wide eyes at these two running backs.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about them in just a second as Rosemeyer wants to send this through. High snap, good place, and a good kick, and that will be good from Rosemeyer. Perfect on the night so far, and that'll make the score 40-3 with 29 seconds remaining in the third as the Penn Hills Indians lead the Shaler Titans. And Casey, you were talking about it. Amir Key and Natel Mitchell are phenomenal running backs, and I think one thing that they've proven is not only their speed in itself, but the yards at the initial tackle slash first touch from a defender. Yes, the yards after the first contact have been phenomenal. I mean, Amir Key I don't think has been brought down after the first tackle, and I don't think Natel Mitchell has been touched in the first 5 yards that he has the ball.
Yeah, once those two are able to break into the second level, it's almost impossible to stop them. And one thing about this Titans season is that almost every team they played, especially in the section play, every team has had at least one star runner almost. I mean, obviously you saw Fox Chapel, it was the Dane Thomas, and then Kiski last week, they had their star running backs. Tonight, it is all Mitchell and Key. And I mean, whenever we talk about the Titans' run defense, you know, I do say it has been poor, but it doesn't help when you've got absolute studs like the players they've gone against.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think one thing, too, you can't take away is the Indians' O-line has been absolutely phenomenal with guys like Pugliese, Williams, Tipton, you know, all on the big offensive side of things. Hundley, you know, you just can't stop them, and again, the kick from Rosemeyer goes to Miller. He's out at the 15, and he'll get pushed out around the 23-yard line. But again, yes, that O-line of the Indians has been phenomenal. Duggar has been sacked once, nor has he had to scramble normally out of his own will.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, O-line they are quite possibly the most important positions. Nothing else on the offense can happen without them and their blocks. So they really, everyone, like both the running backs, both of the Duggars, they really appreciate their O-line's performance tonight.
Absolutely. They'll probably be giving them high fives and probably some food after the game for sure. As Titan runner is wrapped up around 3 to 4 yards after the carry. Not sure who that was. Number 30 of the Titans. Get a number on that from Max Preps. Hopefully we have it. That's going to be Nathan Rozo. Pretty good 3-yard gain.
Your score.
Well, for once in a lifetime, Max Preps, he came through.
They got it right for once. And we'll get it right here with the Indians leading the Titans at the end of the third, 40-30.
Gentlemen, congratulations to the Penn Hills boys.
We're the Shaler Area Girls Volleyball Team, and you're watching SATV.
And welcome back for fourth quarter action of the game as the Indians lead the Titans 40-3. And the Titans now with the ball at their own 26. 2nd and 7. Quad receiver set. Chmatenka looks right, has to scramble. Has a man open, looks deep for Rossi. It's up and caught by Rossi at the 40. Gets to the 35-yard line, and what a throw by Chmatenka, and an even better haul by Dom Rossi. The quarterback-to-quarterback combination comes through again, Casey.
Yeah, I saw Dom Rossi down there. He got the separation. He was waiting for it, and I saw Chmatenka seeing him, but I wasn't sure if Chmatenka had that arm strength to get it to him, but he does, and he's able to get it to him for a huge completion for the Titans. That is the best play we've seen all night, I think, from the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and twice now, that long combination between Chmatenka and Rossi has proved again as they move Rossi in rotation. They'll give it to Rozo up the middle, and he'll get swarmed by a bunch of Indians, dragged down after about a gain of 1. But yeah, Casey, you said it greatly. That was maybe one of the best plays we've seen all night, if not the best one. The other one probably being the first half pass from Smetanka to Rossi.
Yeah, and in Dylan Schlegel's absence, I know they're good friends. Dom Rossi has really stepped up tonight. I mean, we haven't heard the names that we thought we'd heard, such as Organ and DiSabato for the receiving corps. So for Dom Rossi to come up huge, that's a really good sign. And we'll see what the Titans can do here. Maybe they throw in another. I mean, at the beginning, I think the first play was to Austin Timko. See if they can work in tricker plays like that.
Absolutely. As they go quad receiver set, one in the back. Smetanka fakes the hand to Rozo. He'll have to scramble to his right. Does he have anybody open? He's looking, and bobbled but caught by Bellis, and he'll get dragged down around the 20. Goodness me, what a catch by TJ Bellis, and that'll move the chains.
What a great play once again by Smetanka rolling out to his right. We just had to do a lot, and he's done great on those plays we had to roll out, and he finds TJ Bellis, who's able to come back once again. Almost, he bobbles it, almost drops it, but keeps great concentration to make the catch. Now Titans right at the 20, about to enter the red zone.
Absolutely. So now they go quad receiver set, same formation, Rossi in motion. They give it to him. He has a gap, and he looks for it on the left, and he'll get dragged down after about a gain of 4. And one thing we haven't seen too much is the receivers in motion usually getting the ball. We haven't seen too many handoffs to them, but Rossi, again, having the speed. And one thing about Dom Rossi is, this whole team is overall, they're all team players, but Dom Rossi having to start the season out, projected the quarterback in Newcastle, started for the first couple of drives, then had to transition to cornerback, and now is the cornerback / wide receiver, slot receiver. It's just been phenomenal at filling in his role. And now Smetanka spins out of the shotgun, getting chased down, still on his feet, tries to dump it away to Mazza.
I think that may be another intentional.
And it should be, considering Anthony Mazza is not, he's not an eligible receiver, so it would not count. Should be intentional grounding. They'll move him back to 10 to 15.
Yep, and that's his third on the night. Another mistake by Smetanka, but let's go back to Dom Rossi.
Well, first, I will say, I wouldn't say necessarily a mistake on Smetanka's part. It is hard to get off the ball getting chased back by 3 Penn Hills Indians defenders.
Yeah, but still 3 intentional groundings on one night. I mean,
it's hard to say. It's hard to say. If you don't have anybody open, it's you can't put the pressure on. But yes, Dom Rossi, go ahead.
Dom Rossi, you can't. It's hard to mention like the mental problems that you think he may have had. I mean, last season he was a starting QB. For his spot to be come up and taken by a sophomore, that must be really tough for him to have to adjust then to wide receiver. But what he's shown this season, it's so impressive, you have to say.
Absolutely. The mental strength to move your starting spot to another spot where you may not get the recognition that you think you deserve and take it in stride is phenomenal, and anybody's strength on the team. So now Smetanka dumps it off to Rozo. He's going to try and get the outside gap, gets his arm on one, and he'll take a hit to the sideline, though, and he'll get a gain of about 5. But yeah, I think the mental strength for anyone to move from a starting spot, I think any athlete can relate. If you've had a spot for a while and were projected to be the #1 guy and you lose it and you move into another spot that you didn't expect, and you have to play there and take it in pride and in stride, it's definitely something that shows not only the individual strength but the team strength to band around it and together. And it may, again, not be showing too well being down, but the team has grown overall for any team.
Yeah, it's really good to see if the Titans can get players to do this, if they can get the effort and the dedication that we've seen on players this season into the future, they'll look good in future years.
And like you said, Dom Rossi, it's the target. They're going to call an incompletion. Smetanka went for Rossi, and it looked almost intercepted. They're going to call a bobble down, so that'll be a 1st and 10 switch for the Indians. It was a pretty good throw, a little bit to the left of Rossi. So it'll be incomplete, and they will change downs. But yes, Casey, like you said, the culture of every team is different. And, each team has their own capabilities, their own, ideas, mentalities, however you want to put it. And how each team deals with each adversity is so different. You said it greatly about how the Titans have come together. They're a young group. They've battled. They've gone against very powerhouse teams in the WPIAL, and they've proven themselves, not just to other people, but to themselves and to the Shaler area community. And I think it's great to see.
Yeah, it's great to see, especially going into the future with a lot of these young players. And Jim Ryan will be especially happy with how some of these players played and how the seniors this year have led these young players, even in this tough season that they've had. So, I mean, it's just exciting to see moving forward for the Titans.
Absolutely. So now we're, I believe, going to have a quarterback change after that illegal procedure from the Indians. Duggar will be substituted out for number 17, Lavelle Peters, the freshman. So he'll be in, expecting a lot of subs. So under 7 minutes and 20 seconds now in the fourth.
These are big chances for some of these guys to impress here with 7 minutes left. I mean, these guys are young too. Some of these guys are coming out. So if they can impress against this varsity good Shaler defense, then they could earn their spots in the future.
Absolutely. That's usually what happens when JV players get the opportunity to get in and get some playing time. Use every bit of it. We are going to have another illegal procedure on Penn Hills, something you don't want to see. But again,
you can go.
Okay. You know, like you said, yeah, it's good to see a lot of these young guys get playing time. I think you and I can relate as former Shaler athletes. You know, we started kind of, you know, getting our playing time and slowly getting better and better. And I think that's what any athlete can relate to in all of the Whippeal even.
Yeah, when you get the chance like this, you have to take it. I mean, right there, obviously on these last two plays, the inexperience showing there, 2 5-yard penalties immediately. So obviously, QB doesn't like that too much, Lavelle Peters. So let's see what he does here.
And a handoff, and he'll break one tackle, but then gets swarmed by a bunch of Titans and brought down around the 23-yard line. And I think one thing, Casey, is this game, again, the score line may not show, you know, the best of the Titans and the worst of the Indians, but it does show improvements for the Titans, and honestly, in both teams' aspects, improvements on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, there are definitely improvements for both sides of the ball for both teams. I mean, Titans' offense has looked better this half, even though they haven't been able to put up points like they did in the first half on their first drive. But then again, for the Titans defense, they were put in tough spots. It's hard to stop whenever you have another possession right in front of your own end zone. But they've gotten more stops, I think, than the first half. And then for the Indians, obviously their offense exploded, immediately almost doubling their score. And then the defense been able to hold Shaler to no points. And for the Indians, the discipline as well. That's obviously been a big game changer. None of that unnecessary roughness or taunting or anything we saw in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. They cleaned up their act, and it looks good, especially when you're up big. So we'll see how it happens here with Lavelle in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, roll out to his left. He'll get a gap, and he'll get more than that. He'll get out to the 40-yard line, taken out of bounds around the 40.
So with that play with Lavelle right there, I think, so they'll try to also get him adjusted with a similar playbook to what Duggars is running. So we'll see how that goes with Lavelle, and I'm sure with his good run right there, he'll like the playbook that they're giving him. And we'll see if the Titans, they weren't able to stop Duggar too well. Can they stop freshman Lavelle?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a lot of potential growth, only being a freshman.
Wait, no. He's a junior.
Let's see. Takes out the snap. He'll break a tackle. Flag on the play, but he gets more than that. He's out to the 50. Breaks another. Cuts back inside. Out to the 40. The 35. The 30. The 20. The 10. No one in front, and a touchdown for Lavelle, but a flag on the play. Looks like it may be coming back, though.
Good to say, Lavelle is a junior.
Oh, excuse me. He is a junior.
We did get that wrong. Sorry. So Lavelle with another impressive play, but it does look like it's coming back. So this is a big chance for him still anyways. What a run by him though. Unfortunately for him, it will not count.
Yeah, absolutely. Apologies on the mistake, seeing that he was a junior. I read the wrong name. But again, still good to see him getting playing time and made the most of it there on an impressive, what I believe was a 60-yard run into the end zone, quarterback keep. But it'll come back, unfortunately, from a holding, draw him back 10. So now it'll be a 4th, and instead of a 4th and 6 into a touchdown, it'll be a holding that'll make it a 4th and 20, I believe.
I mean, they're up, 37. It's a 4th and, 16, 20?
Yes, 4th and...
Do they go for it?
I think you absolutely go for it. You have nothing to lose. It's good playing time for your offense. Get some other guys rotated in, and I think, yeah, I mean, you just saw it on a 4th and 6. You know, Lavelle just took it himself for a 60-yard score, so let's see what he can do. We'll do the same thing. Roll to the left. Titan tries to close the gap. And they do, as he is forced out of bounds at around the 28 to the 30. So that'll be a turnover on downs. And the Shaler Titans will take over on offense.
So the Titans here, with their offense coming on the field, they'll have a short amount of yards to go. So it's a test here with 3.5 left. They won't win tonight, but if they can get a touchdown here, you know, against this good Indians defense, that'll be good moving forward into next game, and with the season coming closer into next season for a lot of these guys who will come back.
Yeah, I think one thing is you definitely don't want to show faltering or giving in or per se giving up in a sense. You know, keep fighting till the end, and that's what they'll do. As they hand off to Rozo, he's got a good gain. He'll get stopped though after about 5 at around the 25-yard line. Yeah, Casey, like you said, good momentum going into North Hills next week, week 10 of the season. North Hills being the team to beat in the section so far, I believe, in the Northeast section 5A. Definitely the team everybody wants to take down, but so far, the momentum has to be there. It is home at Shaler area, so expect a big turnout for the last game of the season. But here we go, Schmatenka in the shotgun, 4 receivers quad set, 1 in motion. They will hand it off, but fumbled and picked up again. Looked like it was going to number 45, Matt Supa of the Titans. Fumbled it and slipped, and that's the first time we've actually seen somebody slip today off of the rain. An unfortunate moment as the Titans just got the ball back. So now the Indians will get the ball back with 2:26 remaining at the 31-yard line.
And one big thing about the Titans offense is that's another turnover for them. Not good to see. I mean, that was a big chance for them to get some points on the board, at least get a touchdown on the board, you know. So for them to fumble on the second play, I mean, that's just really unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. You didn't want to see it. You wanted to see some more from the Titans, but again, you can only ask for so much. You can only wish for so much.
And now, Titans defense here, it's a running clock here, so they're just going to look to close out the game. That is what the Indians will do probably. Just a few runs, close it out, looking for the 40-3 end.
Absolutely, and they'll start the clock now, 1:54. So let's see. And fumbled snap, it'll be dropped, but picked up again by the Indians, but dropped by Somer Titans.
Well, obviously that lesser experience has shown. Offense, another shaky start there.
Yeah, Peters did fumble the initial snap. You know, tried to get it off. His running back was able to pick it up and take it for a gain of about, actually, I think it was a loss of 2, excuse me. Yes, it was. And actually, I don't believe it's Lavelle Peterson now. I think it's, okay, now it is Steve Van Diver, the freshman. That's who I was thinking was in the game earlier, my apologies. So now number 18, Van Diver's in the game. So now we can see with a minute and 9 counting, see what he can do with the ball in his hands. So it trips to the right, man to his left. Low snap, gives it off. Down the sideline, makes a man miss, cuts it back inside, cuts across the field, has an open lane and has the speed, cuts it back inside, still on his feet at the 46-yard line, and a great take and an even better run by Jameer Brown, I believe.
And a great tackle by Alexander Brady for the Titans.
Yeah, great tackle who wrapped it up. Excuse me, not Jameer Brown. It was Martell Palmer. We will have a flag. That was Palmer, the freshman. And again, it's amazing. The Indian freshmen are they're making spectacular plays right now, and they're playing like they're seasoned vets. And I think that's very impressive to see how well coached and well trained they are.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, there is a flag on the play that has pushed the Indians back.
Yeah, I will say I should, with a younger team, I won't be terribly upset with a flag of such. But again, a flag is a flag. So we'll go trips right again, same formation. And quick pitch out again of the screen, though, cut it inside, but he'll not get wrapped up, get some blocks, going backwards with it, trying to make something happen. Doesn't get wrapped up, not found. Has the open lane at the 30. He's at the 40, trying to make something happen and pushed, still on his feet actually, and pushed down around the 45. Goodness me, you have to be burned after that one, number 45, Khalil Cotton. Goodness me, almost a Madden-type play, rolled out to his right, got almost wrapped up, escapes the tackle, went backwards and went back to his left and out the 45.
And it's a running clock here, and the game will end, I think.
Yeah, that will end things here with the Penn Hills Indians beating the Shaler Titans 40-3 in Week 9. That'll improve the Penn Hills Indians record to 5-3 overall, and the Shaler Titans will fall to 2-7. So Casey, real quick, let's talk about the overalls of the game. Give me some stuff you saw from Penn Hills and what they did so well tonight.
Well, obviously, we talked about at the beginning, the Duggar combo of Julian Duggar and to his brother Jaden Duggar at receiver. That combo worked really well. Jaden Duggar with the touchdown catch tonight, and then we can't say enough about Amir Key and Natel Mitchell. I mean, those two running back and forth, they were so good tonight, so explosive, so fast, so strong. I mean, they were just all over the Titans, and big credit to their O-line as well. They allowed this game to be blown open.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it greatly. I think the offense did so well at picking up the pace and getting better throughout the game in itself. The brothers absolutely played phenomenally, exactly what we expected. They didn't play, highlight reel type stuff, but they played like football players, and they did what they needed to do. And Amir Key and Natel Mitchell, end of this game on their senior night, have something to have forever, as they went absolutely off tonight, both each scoring a touchdown, I believe, and having over, I believe, 100 yards each, or at least 75. Very impressive on their side of things. And the defense, can't say enough about it, held Shaler to their own on the run game and the pass game. Now for Shaler's side of the ball, Casey, give me some stuff that you want to see improved going into North Hills next week, and maybe some stuff that can change.
One thing that does have to change is, so the O-line, obviously, they allowed too much pressure on Svitanka for him not to have too much time to be able to find his receivers. And then the receiving core, too, they didn't get open as much as I've seen them get open. I mean, that's credit to the Indian secondary as well, but still. And then also the running game.
Yeah, absolutely. You said, they need to fix up the run defense for sure. They have struggled recently a lot in these last couple of weeks. They need to fix that up for sure. The defensive line needs to get pressure, and it started out really well against Newcastle in March. Needs to improve going to North Hills. North Hills, we've known, has been a very run-heavy team, perennially a great team overall. They bring they have what I've heard from fellow commentators, the tough mudder type of attitude, where they're just gonna dog on you, and get rough on, and the entire night just make you tired and have to play your entire 200%. And that's how North Hills plays. That's what they're going to have to fix going on defense. I think secondary-wise, it wasn't too bad, didn't let up too much. Offense, it just needs to be cleaner. A lot of missed tackles, a lot of missed drops. The run game has to get somewhat better. They can't just be one-sided too much. They need to have that double threat. I think that's where they're best at. I think that's especially what they're going to have to fix going to North Hills and come out with a win. It will be back at Shaler, so hopefully they can make some stuff happen. Casey, do you have anything else for us?
Yeah, and also the turnovers and things like that. I mean, a lot of times they put their defense in bad positions, and that's been a continuation throughout multiple weeks where the defense has been constantly put in bad positions, and it makes them look bad on their part when you have these big blowout games. If you think, oh man, the defense must have not played well. Well, if the offense isn't getting them in great positions, and it's real tough on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it goes hand in hand, defense and offense. You got to work together, yin and yang. Any other way you want to say it, has to work together. And overall, going to North Hills, I think it just has to improve. You know, it's the last game of the season, the last game the seniors will probably play. So, you know, you want to go all out, especially in front of the Shaler home crowd. And that's where we will see you next week as the Shaler Titans will face the North Hills Indians. Thank you for joining us tonight against the Penn Hills Indians. We'll see you next week in Shaler area.